Welcome everyone to the Amazon Summer Sale Valorant Invitational powered by LG Ultra, Logitech, and Riotech. I'm CCV, John alongside Aggressive, and we are bringing to you a best of three show match between two of the finest teams that we have in South Asia. Both of these teams will be playing one best of three, and the winner will be taking home 1 lakh rupees. Aggressive, it's going to be a very entertaining day. It's going to be a very entertaining match as well. How are you feeling?
I'm really excited for this one, primarily because a couple of the teams, they're going to be ecstatic about this. You're just playing one best of three, and if you win the best of three, you walk away with one. It's as
Mm-hmm.
simple as that. And hey, you guys back at home, you're going to be able to walk away with a lot of incredible deals from the side of Amazon because Amazon so much so. Check out all the links down below in the description. Get yourself something nice for the summer. You deserve to treat yourself from time to time. And hey, Amazon, they got you covered, not only when it comes down to the quality products and, of course, their lightning fast deliveries, but also the incredible deals that will save a lot of money in your bank. A couple of the players who are winning this 1 lakh, maybe they're going to be spending some of it down on the Amazon summer sales anytime soon. But for now, I am really looking forward to how Revenant and M42 are going to play this one out. Internally, we know
Yeah.
for a fact that M42 are going through a couple of changes and they have some disagreements, and I don't really know how things are going to pan out for them here in this particular instance. Hopefully, they're going to be able to work things through because, in a way, this could just be their last rodeo.
Who knows? Yeah, even in the other tournaments we've had very recently here at the Esports Club, we have seen Revenant. They have been performing excellently. M42 as well. They've had their ups, they've had their downs, but this has nothing to do with that. This is just one best of three, one show match. So let's have a look at the video and see the maps that we'll be playing on today and that we'll be watching these teams play on as well. We'll be starting off with the choice of M42 Esports. It is going to be Ascent. Makes sense. Only 2 days ago, M42 played this map against the likes of Reckoning Esports, and they went 2-2 with them. All the way into the overtime. 14-12 was the score. Unfortunate for M42, they lost out, but man, it was a great showing. We then move on to our second confirmed map, which will be split, chosen by Revenant. Also, once more, makes complete sense. We have also seen Revenant play this map against the likes of Reckoning very recently, and they end up defeating them. And then if we go to a decider map, it's going to be Bind.
Honestly, these three maps have become the trifecta of our region. Tell
Mhm.
me one time that I don't see these three maps unless it's a Velocity. Like, only when we see a Breeze come out is when Velocity is playing. Otherwise, it never appears. No other map is gonna come into the map.
Exactly.
I'm sick and tired of it, but at the same time, I understand why a lot of teams are opting to go for this. Ascent, one of the more bare bones basic maps. You are tested when it comes down to your raw mechanical skill, your basic teamwork, trait potential, map control, yada yada yada, all the jazz that is pretty much in the Valorant 101 handbook. Now, whichever team can play it better and elevate it to the next level is going to be the one to win out on the first particular map. Ascent does not let you make a lot of mistakes that you can easily get away with if your opponents are always on guard to go in for a punish. And in this case, as we head on down over towards the agent selection screen, even the agent compositions are very much streamlined. Both of the teams are all going to be opting to go in for the exact same comp. There will be pretty much no variations whatsoever. It's going to be the Killjoy KO, possibly. No, it's not going to be
Yeah, it's
the chamber because, hey, you need the smoke, so we know it's going to get picked up.
exactly. I mean, I'm surprised that Revenant haven't gone for a very like out of the ordinary kind of composition. We have known for Revenant to do that. I mean, when we'll see them on Split, that's also a bigger question I have. Is that earlier when we saw Revenant on Split, they had this completely new comp that was working for them. Then again, we may not necessarily see that today right here because as we've stated, okay, Seth, that this is going to be a show match. And of course, I mean, the teams are playing for 1 lakh rupees. If you approach a team and you tell them you have to play a single best of three, and if you win, you'll be taking home 1 lakh, which team would deny that? But at the same time, it's not a very long, drawn out tournament with a lot of teams. This is just two teams competing against each other. So when you are participating as a team, you may not necessarily go for the most complicated strategies or like the best strategies you have formed. You just want to enjoy, you just want to play Valorant. That's it. And having a look at the face cams of these players as well, that's all they're doing. They're just having fun, they're enjoying, everyone's smiling, everyone's in a good mood, and hopefully all the audience members are in as well, as we'll be jumping on forward into the pistol round very soon.
Game. It's gonna be an interesting feat to say the very least of how both of these teams are going to be opting to take these engagements against one another. First of all, you do have to consider something. We know for a fact both of the teams have faced each other quite often in
Yes.
pretty much every single record. And from there, the other problems will also start to arise of how they're going to be trying to take these fights. Ember, beautiful pop flash, but There was no retaliation whatsoever. The bodies are just gonna keep on dropping. They're trying to fight towards mid, but it was a massacre from the other end. Revenant, they dropped the ball drastically in this round.
Spike planted.
M42 just right out of the gate went full force on the members of Revenant Esports, and they just couldn't cope up with it. Now it is a 1 versus 3, and Wim, little does he know that all 3 of the members are right around the corner. They keep swinging, fired, right clicks, ghost shots. Everything was there, and in a very commanding fashion, M42 Esports, they will be taking the first round, and they'll be able to plant the spike. Extra bonus for them. It is going to give them the more amount of a little better amount of credits heading into round number 2, which I believe it's going to be very standard. It is going to be, after all, an eco from the side of Revenant. They don't want to spend any credits, they just want to save them. Meanwhile, M42, they'll be going for, you know, specters and full armor. That's about it, and it's going to be your average round. Night Rider, though, he's got a marshal. Can he click heads? Absolutely he can. That's the first one, and he falls back immediately. He doesn't want to take any more gunfights for the time being, at least not on mid. He's got his eyes on B main.
Instantaneous shutdown. And Hyper, I do believe he got a... What? Casually walks towards me. You just... Rix just casually walked on towards B-Bait. No one was holding the angle. And he got a kill on the Night Rider. I guess that works as a trade.
I mean, yeah, look, when you've got classics, you can't really contest that angle that much, especially knowing your opponents have got specters. But still, Revenant could have been a bit better for how they were handling that. Good thing is they wasted a lot of time. M42, they can still strike very strongly on towards the A bomb site, which is exactly what they're doing. They are going up heaven. Now they're looking to enter into defended spawn. Just had that marshal,
just
only
run.
good for one.
To be easy.
And now it's going
30
to be
left.
a full-on rotation. I mean, M42 have gone the longest route possible to go on to B. From B main, they went to A garden, and then from defender spawn went to B. All the meanwhile, they collected 3 kills with no casualties. It's all down to the final member on our team.
It's just about running. No stops whatsoever. He's just gonna keep on going. Beautifully done. Nice call from Sai. You have to give it to him that Sai knew at this exact same moment that, hey, we are getting run down a little bit. We can't take over this A side because of the door closing in. We're already on A short. Let's not wrap around from the side of mid. Maybe we can cut off the players that are already holding onto Garden because we have the manpower and the stronger weaponry. Go for a full-scale rush from Garden. Get those 2 kills. Don't even think about the A side. Run over onto B. Simple and an effective plan, to say the very least. That's the thing you really want to see from your IGL, especially in this regard. And things could just get a little bit more spicy if they're not careful moving on down the line. Because, yeah, Revenant, they lost on the last 2 rounds, but it was just the pistol and the anti-eco. Now with the buys coming on down to their side, it'll be a little bit...
Exactly, you've got a full buy round being taken up by Revenant, and this is where we want to see them contest in those gunfights and really go for it. Because what happened in the first round, it was just pistols, and yeah, you can like contest gunfights. So when you got pistols against pistols, technically it is equal, but you wouldn't want that because, let's be honest, pistols in Valorant to an extent can be unreliable. The precision, the first bullet accuracy, things like that, and then even the semi-automatic nature and their shooting speed all make up for a very unpredictable gunfight. You would be a lot more confident when you've got a rifle in your hands. And then for Revenant, when the next round rolled around, you know, M42, they just had Spectres in full armor. And with classics and 1 Marshal, you can't really contest that as well. You have to play passive, you have to go for trades, unfortunate as that is. Now, you've got guns, finally, and Revenant can go for it. It's now going to be... The focus is now going to be on the members of M42 and how they cope up with them. We've just had a player disconnected. Hopefully that person reconnects back as soon as possible. That's why we have a little bit of a break right now. But in the meanwhile, not much has happened. One team took the pistol very quickly, took the anti-eco, and it is progressing in the most normal way possible.
Just now have to wait and see how long it takes for the technical difficulty to Going
Yeah.
down through, the map has just started, so there's not really much that we can analyze upon because M42 they did a pretty good start, but then again they were pretty much completely shutting down any form of aggression that could be done from the side of the defense. And I like this, the fact that they're slowly but surely trying to make a little bit of a switch up here, because the way that all of this pans out is M42, they know how to retaliate to the levels of pressure being put on from the members of Revenant. And with this, that will give them that slight little bit of an edge that they need moving forward into this fire round. They have those specters, and maybe if Revenant want to play aggressive with those Vandals and with those Phantoms, it could spell doom for them. Yes, they have the stronger weaponry, but they need to hit their shots before these specters can just wreak havoc onto you. Specters are perfect for trades if you think about it here, CCP.
Yeah.
Because one trade, you get yourself a rifle, and that can just snowball out of control. Because the defenders losing one person is equal to losing two people on the side of attack. It is going to be a drastic change if Revenant are not able to make this buy round count.
Because that's the thing, that not only by losing those rifles, it will mean that the rifles are ending up in the hands of your opposition and they'll be saving up a lot more on the credits. It also means the fact that it's going to be a lot more harmful for you, and the consequences you have to deal with will be a lot more severe because your own economy is gone. You've lost 3 rounds consecutively. You have to eco for a fourth. That's like a 4-0 score right there. Coming back from it will be a long time. And on a map like Ascent, where it's so dependent on the side switches, like there are teams which excel on defense, there are teams which can excel on attack. Losing out 4 rounds can be a major problem, and cementing a comeback from that or trying to make a comeback from that will take a lot longer than one may presume. But overall, I gotta say, from the looks of it, that yeah, we're still waiting on the players, and hopefully everyone rejoins as soon as possible. But otherwise, from what we have seen just now, the good thing is M42, they're back up and running, and it's looking like they are still on the same caliber as Revenant. Earlier, the results of M42, as we've been discussing in other tournaments, haven't been the best most recently. So for them to be countering R&T this head-to-head, especially when R&T themselves have been playing like something else entirely, is a very good result.
Do you believe that we have another technical difficulty from the other side of things?
Yep.
Rick seems to be the one to get yeeted out of the server, but hey, it's completely fine. He's gonna be able to make his way back regardless, and it should be okay. But moving on down from that, I want to really ask you something here, CCP.
Yeah.
Personally, we know for a fact that Chamber is pretty much the go-to sentinel. I don't know what you. He's always going to be the one that we count on to just completely take over an entire map, even stronger than a Jet in some cases, because in the professional levels of play, yeah, the Jet can be incredible and can frag out of their minds, but unless you facilitate that Jet, he's going to have a pretty tough time. But Chamber doesn't really require that level of utility to just have a presence on the map and be a nuisance. Your raw mechanical skill alone can get you through a lot of different sticky situations. And at this stage, what do you think? Picking up this Killjoy here, what does it bring down to the table that the Chamber does?
I think the first thing the Killjoy brings is a bit more like comfortability. I mean, yeah, now in this day and age, we've got like a full on, like really full-time chambermaids. I'm going to use the term full-time, and not necessarily just people who are your dedicated sentinel as it used to be. There were times where people could really play the Killjoy and play the Cypher, or like play the Sage or play the Cypher. Now it's more about you've got someone who can really play the Chamber, and then you've got people who can be a bit more versatile with their picks when it comes to other Sentinels. So one of it, one of the reasons has to be like what the players feel better, and then it's map dependent as well. Killjoy, I mean, yeah, when it comes to like really open maps, she doesn't have that much of a prevalence right there. Breeze, excellent example of that. Cypher and more importantly Chamber have a lot more of the market share when it comes to their selection rates on Breeze. But then there are other maps where it's a lot more equal, where the fight is still kind of there. It's up to the teams to decide whether or not they want Chamber or they want Killjoy. Now though, we want the third round and we'll be getting it. Thankfully, everything has been sorted. We're back up and running, and slowly we've been through secures the first kill. M42, they are flooding the B bomb site. Hyper being the spearhead of this attack, still trying to find someone as the two Revenant defenders try to hold off for as long as possible. Logista in the back corner, that's a double, getting a triple. He's still there, he gets the triple kill. 3 kills for this man all alone, and Revenant Esports take the third round with only a single person lost.
Recalling my boss.
Loki, I don't know how he does it, but every single time we see this man, he has something to bring down towards the server. And you will be amazed at how this one Sentinel can be a game changer. Let it be honest. Cypher, his Killjoy, his Chamber. He just
Exactly.
knows how to gain control, and I love that about this guy. Now, I already told you, if you try to go in for a fast rush, you're gonna be in a pretty tough position. You need to wait for Revenant to make those first initial plays, but then again, they're not opting to do this. But oh god, Knight Rider, maybe biting off a bit more than you can chew! That's gonna be deadly! That's a double kill, and that's a goodbye. Good night.
Spike down mid.
Logi, he needs to pull off a miracle again, but I don't think this is gonna be possible, especially with Blackhawk holding down the play.
Are they going to check that angle? No, he won't. And Blackhawk gets one, gets another 2 headshots around his stun. I got M42. And the fact that he managed to get 3 kills right at the start of the round means that they are going to continue going for this like full action fast-paced style of Valorant, where they are not going to give their opposition a lot of time to think what's happening. They're not going to be playing slow. They'll be hitting a bomb site. In this case, it was A from Gardens with like 3, even 4 people. And if it's successful, they're going to be moving on forward, planting the spike and playing a simple post plant. If it doesn't work, then they'll try and regroup and fall back. But you know for sure that their early round is going to be very aggressive. Look at this again. 5 seconds into the action phase, Hyper already planning on entering the bomb site, but this time, the KO prevents them from using their abilities and delays them for a little bit more.
Wait and see how this one pans out for them. Logi, though, he wants to play it a little bit more further aggressive. They do have buys to work with, so it's not the end of the world. But then again, are these buys substantial enough to keep them going for the next couple of rounds? Not exactly. They need to try and figure something out, pretty soon, because M42, they're hot on their tails, and they have ample amounts of money to burn. Bank is on their side, but the strategy doesn't really seem to be on their side.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would like to say that Revenant, it feels like they have figured out how to counter M42. I'll speak on that later after this round is over, because now we have this exit coming in. Knight Rider, oh, he pushes the smoke, can't get a kill. Stargod also misses. Ember's all alone in the bomb side. He'll be good for one. But once more, M42 Esports get a 3 kill spree at the cost of only a single death. And once more, they get side control. Yes, utility is low on everyone, but now it favors the attackers because they've got a 1 to 2 person ratio. It is going to be a 2 versus 4 scenario, and I don't think Revenant will manage to win this. Logista, all by himself, has been spotted, doesn't want to risk it, and Revenant choose to save, they choose to fall back. And going back on my point, that for the early round at the very least, M42 have figured out how to prevent, Revenant have figured out how to prevent M42 from going for those rushes. It's a constant utility dump. What happened on B main? We saw KO throw his utility, then we saw an Omen smoke, then we saw a Sova recon bolt, then we saw a Sova shock dart go in, and then we saw the Owl drone as well getting information on the M42 members. So basically M42 couldn't push through B main because they had so much utility. Now M42, they still went for a rush and it still worked. So I'm not saying that what Revenant tried is a foolproof 100% secure strategy. It works for the early round, but with how M42 are playing, having no utility is going to be lethal. You need to win your gunfights, which is something the defenders haven't managed to do in a while.
It's a very smart, crucial part of their plan.
Mm-hmm.
I was amazed at the level of pressure that they were applying towards from the side of the lane. They got the mid control. They had an opportunity to completely go for a full rush over onto mid, but that was not the case. And again, Knight Rider, too much aggression coming out from this one man trying to play up with the flash, and he got caught off. Hyper, he's consistently shutting down one of these players. He's trying to bring in the damage control, but for how long is he going to be able to live this one through? Blackhawk finally breaks the dart, but his position's already revealed. But Logi, he needs to be careful. He's playing a dangerous game inside of the smoke. He has an opportunity to play this one around, but Hyper, he finds his kill onto Wimp. Could just be over.
All right. What is the plan for M42 here? Because they're not repositioning themselves. They've got 50 seconds. Both of the teams have lost one person each. Utility, still a fair bit of it, so it's not like they can't launch an execution. What are they waiting for? I mean, now the ultimate goes through from KO. They'll be pushing in, but still the angles they're maintaining. Oh wait, they work! Venom, Hyper to get a kill. Wimp gets a double. That's good. Downs Venom, but he's going to get revived, and very soon, once more, it's all down to one person from Revenant. M42's tactic is working because they're winning so many of these gunfights. And Revenant have to realize this. They got to start going for better kills. I mean, they are contesting those duels. It's not like they're not peaking and they're just waiting for M42 to show up and then losing the gunfights. On the contrary, Revenant are going for those peaks, but it's just not going in their favor. And this is one of those classic problems that you can't really theory craft about. It's as simple as like, oh, well, you're not winning your gunfights. Tough luck, you know, you gotta get better with the shots you're clicking. Whether that's because you haven't warmed up or it's just not your day, whatever it is, you gotta improve. Ember, last one standing, looking for an exit kill, finds one. That's all he'll get. Revenant, another round lost. M42 keep on building this lead.
Thing in this case here, CCV, is that no, you're saying that maybe win a lot more of these gunfights for Revenant, but I don't really see that problem. I see them winning out on their gunfights, but they're not getting any favorable duels. The fact is, Loki had to push from outside of the inside of a smoke. There's no way he's going to be mentally prepared to see two players just completely rushing him and still be able to hit one of those shots. It's a hard ass. Yeah, he can of course get it. He's mechanically skilled for it. He has done it on multiple different occasions, but that is not consistent enough. I always tell you this, CCV, that gunfights are a 50-50. You need to use your utility to facilitate a lot of these gunfights, and I don't see that level of utility coming out from the members of M42, and I have to say that Venom is doing such a good job regarding that matter. Using those 0 points, using the null commands, completely shut down the killjoy is one of the most oppressive things that you can do to a Sentinel player. There's no way this killjoy is getting value, and the amount of time being wasted is just being added up more and more.
Yeah. And now to destroy the killjoy lockdown, the Hunter speedy goes through as well. Perfect counter utility from M42. Revenant have to go on gunfights. That's exactly what they'll be going for. They push down towards the A bomb side. They flooded the bomb side, yes, but they still can't get the hold onto the spike. The nanoswarm prevents them. The shotdown prevents them even further. Everyone in M42 is there on aiming. Can they kill the person defusing the spike? No, they cannot. Knight Rider and Wimp had it on lockdown. They were peeking the same angle. They were covering their teammate, and towards the A bomb side. They flooded the bomb side, yes, but they still can't get the hold onto the spike. But the nanoswarm prevents them. The shotdown prevents them even further. Everyone in M42 is there on aiming. Just can they kill the person defusing the spike? No, they cannot. It felt like one in the ancient days with the amount of arrows that were there. Nano swarms gone through as well, but eventually M42 ran out of utility to keep them off the spike, and they couldn't keep on repeating the same angle. They tried, they lost, but they still have a 3-round lead at the moment.
Rider. That's a sticky situation if there was a sheriff on the opposite end. And Venom, he's doing so much when it comes down to using his 0 points. The fact that he's getting this much value just adds on to the pressure, and they have to worry about so much more. But Blackhawk, Yeah, I'm just literally slamming onto my head, man. Like, what do you do?
Oh, okay. We just
Enemy
good for
Nothing,
one.
nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
I mean, but still, again, it's
planted.
Ember all by himself, and M42, they lost one gunfight, and they managed to plant this fight, get side control, and kill 4 members on Revenant's side. Ember can't really do much on his own. M42 are in a very, very
Adds on to the
demanding
pressure, and they
position
have to
right
wave up
now,
so much more.
and they are just
Hawk?
100% commanding their way through how
Yeah, I'm just literally slamming
excellent
onto my
stuff on
head,
their
man. Like,
side.
what do
I
you
gotta
do?
say that the way they're getting the map control as well, the utility usage
Nothing
is
happened,
very
nothing
much
happened,
on
nothing happened.
point, be it the smokes, be it the flashes, or be it any form of KO's suppressive utility that prevents the defenders from countering or from retaliating. M42 have it covered. They have the counters ready, but it's all up to Revenant now as well. Granted, this is not Revenant's map. We still have expected a better performance from them because seeing their recent results, R&T have just been on this winning spree time after time after time. They have been doing, and they have been providing some of the best results we have seen from rosters in South Asia. So for them to be down these rounds and not get the winning base back makes you wonder exactly what's happening. But honestly, it is more about the performance that M42 are giving right here. They are playing at the top of their game, and it seems to be working really well.
This point, M42, even though they're going through a couple of internal problems, seems like it didn't really affect their team spirit as much, and that is what is necessary to try and take a win against such a juggernaut such as Revenant. Because Revenant as a team, you have to consider they've been making massive strides throughout our entire scene, taking down
Exactly.
velocity as well. That's something
Almost.
that you cannot scoff at all.
No, Revenant, now they seem to be struggling a little bit against M42.
Oh,
This round, wait,
okay.
it's a thrifty, and they get 3 kills. Okay,
Wait,
Sai
don't say it just yet. Okay,
still
never
alive.
mind, say it.
No, now I'm gonna say it. Sai is going to be the final person, 39 HP, no armor on this man, one shot, and just gets it. How in God's name? When Revenant Esports, they've got nothing to lose.
Oh,
No, that's when you could win one of the best rounds that they have played in this
Oh,
map. Wait,
okay.
it's a thrifty, and they get 3 kills. Okay,
got
they
their
got
shots.
kills.
Say it just
This
yet.
was
Okay, never mind, say it.
I'm gonna say it. Sai is going to be the final
was
person,
the
39 HP,
first
or like the second time Revenant have managed to get the opening kills in their favor. That is a lot. The opening kill factor, as we always know it, is very, very influential when it comes to any FPS game, not just Valorant. And Revenant had been slacking off a little bit in that, but with Sheriffs, they managed to win. Now, can they repeat it or not? Let's find out. You've got Knight Rider, who seems to be on the forefront of this defense, but even he's going to fall back as he was suppressed, can't really use his dash. So M42 just waiting, looking for map control, and it seems like it's going to be an A hit again.
It's bad.
Oh!
A little bit of a sus spray, but it's completely fine. Nothing to really worry about. It is a 3 versus 3 situation. They can recover. The defenders, they're in a tough spot, but regardless, they can do a little bit more to get away from this. Knight Rider holding it down. Oh god, the timing.
Oh my god.
Knight Rider, he gave away his position. No one saw him. He could have gotten the kill there, but I like the fact that he's not taking the risk. He's just waiting to see what he can get away with here. His teammates are coming in for the slow but eventual retake over towards this A side. And it will be enough for them. But they need this first kill. Rix. He's on the chopping block.
Okay, now Win's location is given away because he could very well caught Rix while he was planting the spike. Yeah, M42, they are covering these angles, but Blackhawk moves away to Generator, allowing Just to push through the angles. All the meanwhile, Vimp was looking to apply pressure. Knight Rider takes his location, and it is going to be a double pinch taking place from Heaven and from Gardens. Blackhawk isolates one gunfight. 1 versus 1. He waits, he sees, he
My
shoots,
god,
he
Blackhawk.
wins. It's gonna be a 4K from this Omen.
Man, Blackhawk's just on a tear today. He's feeling himself. Guy has not been missing shots
location, and it is
at
going
all.
to be a double pinch taking place from Heaven and from Gardens. Blackhawk isolates one gunfight. 1 versus 1. He waits, he sees, he
My
shoots,
God,
he wins.
Blackhawk.
Blackhawk moves on. Alright, so now we've got, Revenant, who, yes, they won the Thrifty, but they're still struggling. One can make the argument that if they win the final 2 rounds and they get like a 7-5, it's not all too bad. And honestly, 7-5 won't be, but it doesn't feel like that. This, to me, feels very well like an 8-4, potentially even 9-3 half, favoring M42, just because of the way they have been performing. One change can happen, that's going to be the side swap, it will. But so far, M42, look at this take from their side. They get 1 kill, Scargod manages to isolate 1 duel, and before dying, he gets another for himself. Logista still there on Heaven temporarily. He goes back. Wim doesn't have a gun. There's someone right next to him. If he knows it or not, the door is going to be destroyed. The spike yet to be planted, but M42, they seem to be in good positions and they've got HP to work with also.
Spike planted.
Although he's on a perfectly good position to work with here. Hyper though, stronger, has a good angle.
Player standing.
What? Wait. My brain didn't process. What the?
Last round before the switch.
Happens.
Use Dunga Bunga, anyone?
Yeah, I think I think it can qualify as one. But now, all right, this is the final 4th round. Let's see what happens. I mean, let's see. All right, at the moment, it is going to be a full buy versus full buy. Final round of the first half. You can go for anything you want because it's going to get reset anyways. Your ultimates. And speaking of ultimates, Revenant, they've got like 3 of them. They can use them, but it makes you wonder, like, how exactly can you use omens from the shadows on defense unless you're going for like a low play or something along the lines of that. Regardless though, the Bulldog reigns supreme over all Vandals and Phantoms. Night Rider gets the first kill. Very optimistic and very influential because that's your jet gone off the board for M42. That's your only dive agent, your only duelist gone. So now you will have to rely on your supportive members and your supportive agents to essentially go for those clutches. And not just the clutches, but like the entries. That's the more difficult part because they will be up against a lot of utility and they have to deal with their own utility and how to execute them, which is why M42 are taking their time trying to find an opening without necessarily committing. They are spread apart. They are spread all over the map, just looking for a kill at any avenue they can find.
No lurk up though from Blackhawk. He has a perfect position to make something work out for him. But then again, Rix, what kind of a game are you playing here, buddy? Because easily he could be the one to get taken out, Rix. He spotted out the player. Now it's time for the swing, but the swing's not going to be good enough for him. Venom does get the perfect trade-off, but again, Blackhawk, patience is key. He needs to hold, and he's going to be able to find it as well. Blackhawk, beautifully done from him. They have the entirety of spawn for themselves, and now they're heading over onto A. But then again, the cutoff. Scargod. He's gonna get taken down. 4 seconds left. They can't even plant the spike.
Oh, no.
One enemy remaining.
What was the game plan here? Hello?
They spent too much time like looking for a place to
Switching
execute,
sides.
looking for something that they just lost track of time. They just lost sight of like the bomb site essentially. And yeah, unfortunately for M42, one of the more interesting ways we've seen around N, but that's going to be the half. 8-4, still a solid lead for M42, and if they can manage to win the pistol, going to be really helpful. But taking a look at the scoreboard, my oh my, Blackhawk, 14 kills and 6 deaths. Not only does this man have the lowest kill, like the lowest death count in the entire server, he also has the most kills. By far, statistically, 100% everyone can agree, he is the most valuable player at the moment. And considering he's playing the Omen, his utility usage has been on point as well. So excellent job from his side so far. Now you've got M42 who stopped Revenant right in their tracks, who were looking to execute onto the B bomb side. The attackers fall back temporarily as they relocate themselves for a better take.
At this point, it's gonna slow things down a little bit more here, but then again, not really much that you can do to try and break this one back. It's a fast rush from the side of mid, but oh my god, by them! He gets a beautiful flash over onto one, but he's not going to be able to find the secondary kill. That kill could have been the make it or break it for him, but again, Rix is able to do the damage that he can. Full control over onto mid, but Hyper? He's not aware of the push onto mid? Where's the communication? No comms whatsoever. It's a 3 versus 3. The attackers are on very low levels of health, but still, if they can get the spike plan down, it's more than possible for them to survive. And Blackhawk takes out Logi, shuts down 2 players to very low levels of health, and Rix, he should know.
One enemy remaining.
Gotta be able to get that. Side, clean up for him.
Ooh.
Beautifully done. At
Yeah.
the same time, I have to say, Revenant, they did drop the ball a little there, because if you have this level of market control, at this stage, you need to brute force the side. You can't wait. Yeah, you lost out on one of your players, but you had to entry. You can't run back because you're going to get surrounded from multiple different sides. Yeah, Hyper had no idea that there was a player on mid. I guess there was a communication breakdown from the side of M42, but it's okay because Blackhawk was able to go in aggressive and just pick up the pieces. It was nicely done. And on the other side of the spectrum, as this is an antique or not really much is going to happen, things are going to be played out slow. I did see everyone in chat that we did put up a poll of what refresh rate are you guys using for your monitors, and it feels as though a lot of you are using your CRTV monitors currently because everything's a 60 hertz. And then we're in the 2022 age. There's no way you're playing on a 60 hertz monitor. No. Look at these pros. They all have 144 hertz, and this is why they're so good. Check out the links down in the description for the Amazon summer sale, because if you want to hit shots like this, you gotta upgrade that monitor. Everything's down there. Check it out, because now Logi, it's his turn to try and check out this B side, but Rix, he's not gonna give anything away.
Ember, good shot. 1 bullet in the chamber, and he's going to be getting more reloads. And Revenant, they can count spike, but no,
Okay.
it's going to be a very difficult person to deal with. The Marshall still out in the open. Rix just
That's a free plan. Just
abiding,
get the plan.
going for time. No, right side no, can't achieve that, misses the shot. And 3 members, all of them coming from various different directions. The plan, I don't know, could have happened, couldn't have, whatever. The round is done and dusted, that's what matters. Because for the side of M42, they have a very, very thorough 6-round lead. And they wouldn't like to give that away, not by a long shot. As for Revenant, this is one of the final chances they'll be getting, because after this, if they lose another round, 11 to M42, more so close to match points, so close to winning out the entire thing, you've got to be like, okay, M42 just may just have this entirely, and Revenant may not have the time nor the place to mount a comeback. That's why they got to start right now. The recon will give away the location of Revenant members, but still M42, they unfortunately had the Spectres, and against Vandals and
Player
Phantoms
standing.
can't really achieve much. It is going to be probably a flawless round. Sai all by himself. Yeah, that's going to be that. Revenant bided by their time, waited for M42 to do something. Since it was a bonus, they did. Easy round, another one gone.
I have to give props to Revenant to just go in for the same plan that I expected from the members of Revenant back when they were on their own defensive side. If they won out on the first round and they had the weaponry to go in for that proper buy in the following round for defense, this is exactly how they should have played. Go in for an aggressive peek from B main, A main, or through mid. Now, Revenant, they read into the strategies, and I absolutely adore that. They understood that, hey, now that they have those Spectres in their hands, they're all 5-man Spectres, which is pretty much flawless for them. So, how do we get away with this? Simple. Just play from very far back angles. We have the level of control, but now they need to worry about even more. Venom, beautiful pop flash down on the one. He's gonna be able to shut down even more, but the trades,
down,
they're
mid.
still going in the favor of Revenant slightly here, because Logi needs to find a skill, but Spray's not gonna be doing true. Wimp shuts down on his own twin, but now he's down to 30 HP. 1 HP to his name, and the spike, it's on him, but maybe he gets a plan, but to get this clutch, that's gonna be a tall order.
Yeah, once more, it doesn't feel like it. I mean, Wimp, yeah, he can give away his location. I would suggest going for the orb as well. But unless he gets very favorable gunfights where people are just not checking the corner and he catches them off guard. This doesn't feel like a round he can try and win. But he's not going
30
to the plan.
seconds
He's
left.
looking to infiltrate into defender spawn, get a kill. Unlucky for him. He doesn't know it. Blackhawk is watching just that, and Wim can't cross towards garden. He will be committing to the spike plant. He'll be going for it. Hasn't closed the garden door.
Spike
It's going to be
planted.
even more difficult. Blackhawk knows about his position. 70 HP on this Omen. Waiting. Killjoy joins him. And Wim sees one. Excellent headshot. But nah, yeah, when there are two people together and you have very low HP, you can't get both the duels to go in your favor. Still, good effort from Revenant, but the utility usage from M42, man, it is a very just controlling, and they prohibit their opposition from doing anything on the map, from getting any sort of control until the numbers go down, until you have fewer manpower remaining. But then the attackers are also struggling with trying to get around, or like trying to get an execute on board. So yeah, really difficult for Revenant to deal with and to work their way around as to how M42 are playing.
Two are in such a dominant spot as well when you think about it. The way that they're able to get this under control, it's good, but now we do see the problem starting to happen. Knight Rider, he's going in for the fast entry. He's gonna be able to find it as well, but Sai, the tracers, that could have given away his position, but still the trades are gonna be happening regardless. Venom completely flashed out, no way to survive for this man. And now Revenant, they're the ones who have the advantage, and now we do see more problems starting to arise for them all over again. Sai somehow finds a skill on towards an over-aggressive Scar God. And things are starting to fall apart. 1 HP and a dream, but still 10 seconds for recon bolt. He just needs to give information for his team, and they alone can completely retake the site. And Hyper, he's able to answer back truly.
Exactly, he is able to. Now you've got the two attackers cornered off into
That's a
both
swing.
houses.
Oh,
Oh, you can't do anything, man. M42. I think it's time to call it. Ascent is gonna go their way. Revenant
this is what
Esports.
happens when you dodge the Knight 3 curse. That was a tactical throw.
Oh
We all
my
know the
God,
truth.
dude.
We all know the truth that was a tactical throw.
Yeah, because absolutely it's not like they were already in lead and they continued and then they won the pistol as well. No, it was purely because of the curse. I get it. But anyways,
exactly.
whatever the reason may be, still M42, great performance from their side. I mean, practically in my opinion, Revenant winning 7 rounds consecutively, it's a highly unlikely possibility. I don't see that happening. That's why I'm seeing M42. They've secured Ascent and they've done a very good job. Once more, look at them denying entry to the attackers. Now the attackers are going to scavenge. The smoke prevents them from seeing anything. The fragment prevented them from entering. And then you had the chaos suppressive ability, not letting the attackers use any of their utility. Pure shutdown of that execute. Revenant have to fall back. They're not in the best positions. And now they've got to rely on pure gunfight to win. But they're up against a judge in close quarter combat. Venom swings by. That's one. He will be good for one. But he gets a lot of information as to where the attackers are.
Blackhawk now it's his turn. He just needs to get a couple of kills and he gets one. He's actually gonna be able to get 2 and survive. No! Ember's gonna be the thing that shuts him down. The teleport's not fast enough to get him out of that sticky situation. 2 versus 2. The spike has not yet gone down. Killjoy lockdown is present for the defender, so they need to worry about a lot. But the timing is gonna be immaculate. Rix is in a position they're not even gonna expect him. He's gonna be able to find the first. And now he just waits.
30 seconds left.
It's done. Ember's just stuck.
Yeah. Can he be in hell and stay alive?
Nope.
Wait, let's see.
Oh, wait, he
He
can.
can. He has a little pocket to work with, but the time. 15 seconds. He knows that the other person is somewhere on heaven or something along like that. The
10
garden
seconds
door is
left.
broken. Rix can push up whenever he wants to.
Spike planted.
Ember is
Enemy
just
remaining.
gone.
Oh, wait a
Just
minute.
one kill. May
Yep,
not be
it's
over
coming.
just yet. Evades the recon door. Flashes
I
and
told you.
catches Sai. Ooh.
Oh
Beautiful,
god,
beautiful
they should
round
have
from
held
this kid.
it. I don't know why they didn't held it. They know for a fact Ember's in under held. He hit some very low levels of HP. Rix could have gone in for the swing or even just went in for a run and gun with the Spectre and hoped for the best. They needed a play. I don't know why Sai was playing so safe. The comms, man. M42, you're dropping out rounds, and this is where a comeback could happen at any second. You don't know. Things are not looking that good here. But hey, it's one round for many more.
All right, Hyper. He manages to go back. Knight Rider, does he check the corner? Does he check the corner? He doesn't check the corner. Yep. Deservedly so gets punished for it. Vim has entirely been flashed. He still gets one kill. And Ember, now can he move out of here alive? He's choosing to fight it off. He tags the member. He tags Sai significantly. But Revenant Esports, what they don't know is Hyper's lurking in the shadows. And he can emerge for this backstab. All the meanwhile, you've got the spike going over to the B-bomb side. But with the nanoswarm preventing the attacks from pushing through, Starboard is all alone. He doesn't check for Riggs. Oh no, this is all falling apart for Revenant because now they have the Jet to deal with as well, who is certainly going to be a big nuisance. The attackers are cornered off from every angle. It's down to Ember, and that's GG's. M42 Esports win the first map 13-6.
Just a very dominant win. A couple of rounds that were questionable when you regard what the team was doing on the rounds prior, but it's completely okay. Nothing
Yeah.
to really worry about because they were able to retaliate. They came together as a squad, and at the very end, they let the losses and the mistakes get to them. And I love that because this team just knows how to adapt on a lot of these different scenarios, but they really need a strong start to make things work out for them. Unless they have that perfect start to give them that push that they require to win out on a map, it just doesn't happen. And I'm really hoping that that does not really repeat on game number two as well, because game number two is going to be split. You won out on your own home turf, the one of your strongest maps, I would say, in your entire map pool, and now you're
Yeah.
going into Revenant's place. It's not going to be that fun. But then again, let's head on down over towards the match highlights and relive all of the dumb moments, let's say, the interesting ones, confused Ungamungas, and of course, the clean, crispy headshots that Revenant and M42's players were able to deliver to us.
100%. There were so many of those 4Ks, triple kills as well from so many of these members. All of them managed to get kills on board. That was the good thing about this match. That, yeah, M42, they won by a decent margin. I mean, 13-6, no small feat, especially against Revenant. But everyone gave an excellent performance. The utility usage was also on point, really, from M42. You knew exactly when they would be using every bit of utility they had. When the smokes from Omen would go through, the paranoia would hit the opposition, the shock darts, the recon bolts as well to flush out the defense or give their location away. Everything worked in unison with each other, and it felt like a very flawless way with which they were going for a couple of those rounds. It really felt really admirable. There were a couple of mistakes from both the rosters. Obviously, yes, when it came to the positioning or the improvisational like tactics they were going for, like in the middle of the round, whatever they were thinking of, but it worked out. Excellent 4K from Blackhawk as well, as we were just seeing on highlights, that one versus one, isolating the gunfights and then just shooting them. You had a couple of these kind of rounds where M42 just ran out of time. There was nothing they could do about it. But even in the second half,
It was tactical.
yeah, sure. But yeah, even in the second half, winning the pistol, winning the anti-eco meant a lot for M42 because then the lead that they had, Revenant could never really catch up.
Yeah, there was not much that Revenant could have done to even try and get this one out from their end,
Yeah.
because it just started being a hassle. Revenant, they had no idea what they were doing wrong. Yeah, they made a couple of really good reads, for example, in this round, expecting that heavy eco push because it's pretty much bound to happen, but to do it over onto B main, and if your opponents are holding very far back angles where they are 10 miles away from the close proximity engagements, then you're just going to be in a pretty tough situation. I do believe the Revenant are just not comfortable on the map of Ascent, or their fundamentals just need a little bit more work than you would have expected. Venom, how many times has he gotten these kills? You have to question yourself about that. The guy pop flashed from mid market about 3 times that he's been able to get 3 kills, regardless of the situation he's put in. The setups were good. M42, they had everything under wraps. And hey, they played it all down to the perfection. And hopefully in game number 2, they're going to be able to do the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, game number 2 is going to be split. Again, a lot to look forward to. M42, just a single map away from taking the 1 lakh prize away from their opposition. But then again, this is Revenant's choice. Let's see what they have to offer. But before that, we'll be taking a very, very quick break. So stay tuned, keep watching, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Amazon Summer Sale Valorant Invitational powered by LG Ultra, Logitech, and Reotech. I'm CCV John alongside Aggressive, and we are bringing to you this best of three show match between Revenant Esports and M42 Esports, where both the teams play in one best of three to win a 1 lakh rupees. That's it. No more rules, no more teams, one match, and you'll be declared as winners. But you, the viewer, can be a winner as well in the amount of savings you'll have by going down into the description. You can check out all the links that Amazon have for their summer sale. Every single product you think of on Amazon, everything in any specific genre. Think about technology, think about lifestyle products, clothes, shoes, whatever your heart desires, you can get it for a severely discounted price, making sure you rack up on all the savings and you have all the advantages. But coming back to the match that we have on hand, Agi, M42 Esports, they chose the map of Ascent. It was
Statement.
their selection, and they end up winning 13-6. We now move on forward to Split, which is going to be chosen by Revenant.
Yeah, now it's Revenant's turn to try and showcase exactly what they're made of, and for them to completely take us by surprise. Because personally, I was not expecting this level of performance to come out from the members of M42. M42, considering the amount of changes that they're going through, the roster not being in the best of terms just yet, I was worried. But now I don't think I need to be as worried. But then again, Revenant on Split is yeah,
Very
they're
true.
a completely different animal by itself. Their composition is
Exactly.
completely wacky, something that we don't really expect. Apparently, you said that they start picking up a neon, so
Yeah.
I wonder where OG's at.
That's the
Did
thing.
OG mention me? Did OG mention me when they first picked up the neon?
Yeah, I think he said. And then, well, you know what? First, let's jump into the agent selection screen. Right now, let's see whether or not we'll be seeing a neon picked up from the side of Revenant. And from the looks of it, they may just go for it. Yeah, Vim goes for the breach. Ember's on the KO. Chambers there. Logista will be picking the Astra, in my opinion, and Stargod will be taking the neon. It is the same composition we saw from Revenant a couple of days ago. They end up defeating Reckoning Esports a 13-5. Very, very one-sided. As for M42, they'll be going for your standard double sentinel. Interesting, interesting. I mean, Sage on Venom, Rix will have the chamber. Does make sense. But yeah, the last time we saw Neon, OG definitely did mention, and he was like, oh my god, I'm so excited for Neon. And then I made a joke about how both of you will definitely be looking to make a request to cast all Revenant games that will be taking place on Split because you'll get to see Neon.
To put in that request because I love the
Mm-hmm.
potency this character brings down to the table is second to none. But then again, after a lot of these recent changes to Neon, I don't know how much I like those changes to her bar, I would say. The
Right.
wall damage, I guess you need to bring the wall damage back as well, primarily because the wall damage just gives a different level of an edge to Neon. It's really difficult for her to just play with her wall. And then imagine this. You have your wall straight up in front of you. You are trying to go through your fast lane to get a proper slide angle in towards the side. The enemy starts swinging into the wall and they have no repercussions of doing so. Yeah, your wall damages teammates, but why have that mechanic even enabled if you are worried about your teammates taking unnecessary amounts of damage? Just
Mm-hmm.
make the wall enemy damage only. I understand they want to keep the wall mechanic same for all of the different characters, but I believe that Neon requires that level of damage to make herself viable. I feel as though Neon's fallen down from the meta list on the highest levels of play at least, but she's much more stronger as a pug-based character.
Well, right now it's going to be Scar God getting deleted, so that's the Neon gone off the board. M42 Esports, who get off to a strong start, delay Revenant Esports even further into executing onto the B-bomb side. We will be seeing a suppression, but then the slow up prevents the attackers from pushing in even further. Black Hawk entirely flash now out of it. Still can he manage to win the gunfight? He peeks wide. Ember has to fall back. Blackhawk secures another kill before going down. Revenant, the spike is dropped. They're all alone. Logista though pressurizes from B Heaven and manages to get that kill. Still a 2 versus 2. Knife Rider needs to get the shot from the headhunter, but he walks right beside the pain shell. 10 HP on the man. couldn't survive the Jester. Can he thrive without the spike?
Rix, this is bad.
I
Rix
have the
has been
spike.
spotted, but Loki, I don't think he was mentally prepared for it. The angle's gonna be good. Rix, again! Loki, if he just strafed out for just a single step, he would have gotten Rix. That was an off-guard kill. That was an easy one for him. And now
30
Loki,
seconds left.
he's in the worst possible spot. Rix is gonna find the first
One
initial
enemy
advantage, but
remaining.
Loki's just 10 times faster. This guy just doesn't miss.
Spike planted.
Oh, this is bad.
Oh no, Hyper's looking for 120 HP. Look, somebody gets it! He still gets it!
It's just Loki, man.
Okay for this man. And Revenant managed to win the first round. Great play right there. My god, how did he just do that all by himself? He got the final 3 kills. No one else in his team had the right angle. No one else in his team was alive for a specific matter of the time. Now on his shoulders, he got that job. So now it's going to be the second round. You've got the anti-eco come out from Revenant once more, and M42. This time they'll be the ones who will only have pistols. This time they'll be the ones who will be scrapping. They've got 4 members on the A-bomb side. They're waiting for an A push, but unbeknownst to them, Revenant are not planning that at all. Or maybe they are. Scargod, as he always does, pushes into vents, pushes into A ramps, looking for space, looking to find a member, sees no one, and Revenant now have a decision to make. Where did they go? Left or right?
Need to worry about how exactly they can get a forward avenue for themselves, but once again, Blackhawk holding from inside of the side pretty tight, and this Sheriff could just cause a little bit of damage if no one tends to clear him. That's gonna be one. That was so close. That could have been a second kill almost immediately, but then again, they have to worry about the lurk coming in from Knight Rider. M42, I don't expect them to think that Knight Rider is there on towards the side of mid, and yeah, Knight Rider, 3 kill for him. Off guard,
One enemy
3
remaining.
shots, and that's that. M42, they should get 1 more kill if Rix is able to find this angle for himself, but then again, they're not giving him much to work with. It's just done. Loki shuts it all down, and 0-2 scoreline. A strong start for the members of Revenant.
Absolutely, very strong start for Revenant. It's going to be their bonus round. If they can manage to carry forward this momentum, it's going to be exceptional. But more so, this seems like the first round M42 will finally manage to take for themselves and get back on their winning ways. And then we'll see how it progresses. Because, I mean, yeah, it's a very weak buy that R&T have gone for, because they don't want to spend their credits on round number 3. They just want to move on forward. They want to build that ultimate economy as well, which is going to be a major factor heading into the rounds afterwards, which follow, because then the ults and their usage will matter a ton. So for the time being, slow and steady from Revenant. They're looking to find a way to pressurize their opposition and to get a kill. But Venom, he has spotted that headhunter. He spotted Knight Rider. He knows he's there, misses the shots just a little bit, and Knight Rider manages to use the roundabout fallback. But on the other part of the map, more specifically on B main, it's going to be Blackhawk who gets 1 kill. Was it through the smoke that he managed to get that? Oh, that's good.
First initial kill could just give them all that they needed. Hyper! Okay, buddy, take it slow, take it steady. No one's gonna kill you right now.
One enemy remaining. Spike down.
He's trying to
mid.
deal as much damage as he possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be able to stay alive, and he's more than healthy. And if this is a flawless round with them carrying over every single one of their guns, their economy will look pretty much pristine. Up. I think I spoke a little bit too soon.
Oh.
Maybe the caster curse is real. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut.
In this case, Ember, oof, he managed to get 2 kills, which, you know what, when your entire team dies, fair enough that you managed to bring down 2 members of your opposition with you. So still, decent enough round for Revenant. I mean, they knew the outcome of that round. They knew inherently that round wasn't gonna go their way, because they didn't have the necessary guns. They had Spectres, Sheriffs up against Vandals and Phantoms, but that was that. It's done, it's over. Now we start the game where every team, where every single player as well has the best of weaponry and that money can buy. So with rifles on board, everyone is looking forward to seeing this round. Everyone is looking forward to seeing exactly how we'll be moving on forward. Because honestly, the M42 side, if they can manage a good showing early on, it will put pressure on Revenant just like it did on the map of Ascent. The only difference is Revenant really know how to play on this map, and they can really find their way through every single nook and cranny that there is, and they can find their way through any avenue possible. So M42 have to be extra careful with how they proceed. Venom holding this angle, waiting. Forward flank goes through, doesn't tag anyone. Neon's ability. Venom. Oh!
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Knight Rider also gets the kill with the operator, and M42 are down to 3 members. Size location is now known. Neon checking that angle. Scargod gets the kill, and this is an entire wayward fail right there. Falling apart by the wayside.
That's gonna leave a mark, especially on the record for Venom. He's gonna be kicking himself for that one, but now a little bit of damage control, I would say. Hyper, he needs to hope for the best and possibly get a couple of frags for his buddies. Because now, go in for a save, just run. Maybe go in for a fight, and yeah, the save is the much more optimal approach, at least to carry over 2 guns with the possibility of a hero outplay. And you have full armor, so you're the only ones on your team that can possibly pull off a thrifty. Play it down through as much as you can, but for now, Revenant, they take 3rd round on the board. And honestly, they look quite potent. Maybe not the Neon that we would have expected, but the Neon that is making things work out.
Wait. Oh my god. Again, Harold just stuck off that.
Right there.
That would have been the worst thing for Rix, because that would have meant Rix gets no credits whatsoever and he loses that rifle. But he manages to still survive. M42, they are struggling though. It is only a 2-round deficit. It is still very, very early into the matchup. But we are starting to see patterns getting formed. We are starting to see that Revenant, they are not going to be compromising with the map control. If they want something, they will give their everything to get it. But I mean, meanwhile, pushes through mid, and 3 members do at the same time. Yes, they get a kill, but at the cost of 2 of their riflers dying. I mean, yeah, you push that far into it. One could call that just an overcommitment, and now they have to suffer the consequence. Because they've got 3 members alive and they're spread all over the map. Revenant have all the map control in the world to work with now.
Again, aggression is good, but you need to have your controller on the same page as you whenever you put these type of plays. The fact that they pretty much try to go in for a push without smoking off market is a little bit of a questionable answer for me, but seems like a symphony of whips are happening throughout the entirety of the team. And once again, split. Ugh. This is a hard pill to swallow for the members of M42.
And okay, so now we've got M42 who are really in a bad position, not just economically, but overall, they have not gotten the foot right there, or like they haven't gone off with the best foot forward. And they haven't placed themselves in the best manner to continue forward in winning split, because Ascent was really, really favorable to them. They had built that early lead, and they kept on building it time after time, round after round, kill after kill. That hasn't been the case. Rix is still there, so is Sai. Rix manages to win that duel. Catch Scargod off guard, but there are more members of Revenant to hunt down M42. That's exactly the fate Sai has to suffer through. Only a single gun going off, and I believe it is going to be, it's going to be a thrifty round inside of the defense. Seem to really be struggling now.
At this point, this double sentinel composition, this is where you are at your strongest. You just stated it out. Either they get an 8 and 4 right here and right now, otherwise we're gonna get sent over on to map number 3. There is no in-betweens for this whatsoever.
Right.
Oh.
You know you can't repeat that. You know, okay, if I have the only rifle in my team for this round, let's not repeat that angle. But Revenant going for a classic case of getting map control. It's going to be Scargod as the Neon. It pushes into wins. Now they push forward even further. Hype of the paint shell evades them. Same tactic that was being used by Reckoning Esports a couple of days ago as well. Because everyone knows what Revenant do to get map control. They know how to prevent it to an extent, but it's not always the permanent solution. I mean, you can only throw the paint shells once, then you have to contest them in a gunfight. And RNT are like, well, if we can't go for vents, we're going to go the other way. Hyper though, he gets one kill with the ghost, but he couldn't land it with the showstopper. Still 2 kills going the way of Revenant Esports. Now they make it a third, and essentially when it comes to map control, they don't really need it. They're not looking to commit on a bomb side. They just get kills near mid, and that's it.
Last player standing.
He missed out on a very crucial
30
shot. And
seconds
at this
left.
point, Blackhawk, last man remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Lurking his way up from spawn, maybe he gets 1 kill, but not even that. They're just gonna run away from
Spike
going for a
planted.
proper hold. And at this stage, Blackhawk, I think it's time to meet your maker.
Oof. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. In this instance, you have Blackhawk. Can he get 1 kill? Yes. But can he get a kill, retrieve the rifle? Okay, nothing along the lines of that will be happening. It's going to be another round going the way of Revenant Esports. They are now the ones building the lead, and you can see the faces of the members of Revenant, as you're seeing the face cam right now, is that they know the job is not done. Probably in their mind and probably in their comms as well, they know inherently that split most likely is going to go our way. So both of the teams are now focusing on the final map, which will be Bind. Because this, to me, so far with how M42 have been performing, they are struggling. And they are suffering some of the same things and some of the same problems Revenant were on the map of Ascent. You know, it's just about the positions you have, and it's just about utility usage. Look at Revenant right now. They have no fear in the world. Stargod just pushes into the bomb side, gets 2 kills, looking to make it a third. He manages to make it almost, 2.5 kills right there. Ember's fragment lands the shot. But more importantly, it's not about who's getting the kills, it's about how you're getting them. M42, finally they afforded a full bio-aggressive, but they lost out on all of their members. Blackhawk now the only person alive, 70 HP against 5 from RNT. You can't make this up.
There's no way he's gonna be able to get anything done here. He's on the defensive side, the spike's heading over onto A, and this man's just trying to get as much value as he possibly can to try and survive this. Again, communication is very much crucial. Stargod ran in towards the side, and he just Palpatined everyone to death. He just started screaming infinite power at the top of his lungs, and he just slid into their DMs and took them out. That's just Neon for you. I love the fact that Revenant are taking a liking towards this character and utilizing her raw speed capabilities to the best of its potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, now the thing is, the Revenant, not just individually, overall, they're using all the utility, they're getting the map control, and they are getting the favorable outcomes. Like, whatever they want is happening, which is not necessarily how it should be when you are the opponents of a team. Like, when you are playing a game of Valorant, you know, you've theorized something, you've made a strat, and you're like, okay, this is how it's gonna go, this is how we're going to push, these are the kills we'll get, we'll win, and plain and simple. It shouldn't be like that practically. There should always, because there always have been so many of those obstacles, so many of those problems that your opponents create. The problem is M42 are not able to create problems that Revenant try and deal with, or like even fail. That would be favorable for M42. Something along the lines of that hasn't been happening. You can see the frustration build up on their faces as well, as they're trying to talk through exactly what's going wrong. But still, it is one thing to communicate, and it's one thing to show it in the rounds, in your performance. That is also a place where M42 just seem to be a little lackluster right now. Or it's just that Revenant, they have woken up finally after the aftermath of Ascent. They're like, okay, enough of this. We need that 1 lakh prize. We gotta go for it entirely now.
No charges left.
Seems as though we have a couple of other technical difficulties falling down over onto place. One by one, it feels as though we fix one problem and then another one arises in like 2 seconds. But hey, it's Valorant for you. You're gonna have issues. But hey, the matches, they're just gonna be as interesting. Game number 1, it was a complete another landslide from the members of M42. Now
Yes.
though, Revenant, they're in their own zone, they're in their own home turf. And here's where they're not missing a single shot, and then they're not skipping a beat here.
Exactly. Like Revenant, I'm not really certain if it's just because of the fact that Split is such a strong map, or if it's something else, something like psychologically that they're like, okay, it is time to improve. And the little break that they had after map 1 was over, after Ascent was there, the players talked with each other. Something or the other has now been working. I myself, I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to put it to a combination of both. First, Split is a very strong map for Revenant. We saw them defeat Reckoning here 13-5. We see that their composition is working. It is catching the opposition by the changes that they have, because it's not usually the norm. It's not kind of quote unquote the meta that you would expect from teams to be brought out on the map of Split, especially after the recent changes that have happened to the agents. So a lot has been working in favor of R&D, and I thoroughly believe that if they keep on giving this performance, they will build a strong enough lead, and by that point, it won't even matter what or how they're playing. The map is going to go their way one way or another, just like we theorized would happen on the map of Ascent, but in that case, it favored the likes of M42. This time it's the opponents. Bind is really something both of the teams are just seeing in the back of their mind, or like thinking in the back of their mind that, okay, it is going to go down to Bind. It is going to be that map where everything gets decided.
That's in my zone. So, just all mentally prepped up and ready for it, because to try and come back from this, yeah, maybe you get the next 5 rounds consecutively. You have an opportunity to do so. Very unlikely, because this will be an equal round from them. They don't have enough money for these places. But once more, I believe the members of M42 are opting to go in for a fast take from B Heaven. Is this another rush strat?
Define rush, because that's the thing with M42 and how they perform is the fact that M42 R&D and how they perform is the fact that they always just go for such an aggressive form of map control, and then they're like, okay, what do we do from this point forward? Wherever they think is the most optimal place to push forward, wherever they think is the most optimal place to essentially attack from, it's going to be the place that they eventually will end up attacking, because the thing is, aggressively they get a large amount of map control early on. Scargod, being the neon, pushes through into vents, and then a couple of the agents, a couple of the other members follow as well. And then you have essentially, the side of M42 make a decision that how do we prevent Revenant from pushing forward even more, and it works like that. But now it seems like everyone has reconnected back. We are done with the tech issue. We can start back up with round number 8. So let's start off. It is going to be the side of Revenant. This time I'm not going for their rush beyond mid. M42 were prepared for that, but they have to.
Yeah, that's the info that they needed. That is the info that they
Exactly.
needed. Time to run, boys. It's either go B, it's either go A. Personally, it would be the B side, but then again, Ricks. Ah, that was an important kill.
Alright, now though, the first casualty has happened for M42. In terms of the gun, they don't have the best of them. Scargod hunting them down. Look at him go through. Once more, Sai was also concussed. And the Neon cannot be stopped. It's gonna be a flawless round for the side of Revenant Esports. Utility usage really on point. Rolling Thunder worked as well. Revenant were like, M42 Esports, they have a lot of members on B Heaven trying to counter our mid take. Guess what? That's exactly where we'll be pushing. That's exactly where we'll be looking for kills. They use the Rolling Thunder. Scargod went in, and Scargod being the bottom table performer of the previous game, now he is the top fragger. Goes to show the confidence this man has as soon as he's picked up the neon on the map of Split. Oh, but in this time, though.
Confidence is gonna save you from that though. Rick's operator just reigns supreme in every single front. These first initial kills are gonna be good, but again, Knight Rider, he's able to give the damage control that they need. Venom, he needs to find way more. He's gonna be able to get it.
Down mid.
This is a free resurrection. That's a pickup in the spike. It's on mid-market, bro.
Oh, wait.
They don't know. Oh god, this is bad.
No, Venom goes away as well. He's not checking the corner. Just he's in the B bomb site now. He's waiting for the spike to be picked up. Travel all the way from like, well, I'm not really sure, like B main or something.
Know that the spike has been dropped.
But just what is his angle of attacking? Oh, I think in his mind he thought someone was heaven. That's why he doesn't want to go up the ropes. He checks it. That's why he's corner checking
They
it. He's
expect the defenders to know that the spike was dropped.
But the defenders as
30
well, yeah,
seconds
they're the
left.
ones who are there on new attacker spawn now towards A main. Spike very easily going to be collected as soon as Knight Rider checks all the corners, realizes there's no one there, and the defenders are going to be pushing from whence. Oh no. The members of M42 make it in mid just in the nick of time, but they miss the attackers, and the attackers are going to
seconds
go on the B bomb side. M42 waiting for a sound cue. They hear it on the B bomb side. They're going to push forward. Hyper's there. Logista knows about this. The pain shell not going to be quick enough. No one knows about Logista's position. He's just going to be holding this angle. He doesn't get anyone for the time being. He pushes forward even more. Knight Rider helps him out. And it's all down to Hyper in this corner. Oh no, the predicament he was in. But look at this shot from his side. Excellent. Faking it. And he gets it.
God, Hyper.
The Ferrari peak works. Oof.
Less of a Ferrari and more of a Bugatti. My god. This guy was just beautiful when it came down to the terms of the movement. His movement got him the round, man. Just look at him going in for fakes. He's jumping off the rope. He's trying to create as much confusion as he possibly can. And then pop goes the Weasel. Just a flick of the wrist and a pop to the forehead to just shut them down before they can even breathe. 2-7. Man. It seems as the M42, they still have some fight left in them.
Absolutely. And yeah, they better get back up and running now, because this round still it's not the best when it comes to the guns that they have, but they can make it a lot better. Hyper has been concussed. He doesn't see anyone as a showstopper. The Sage Wall prevented him from pushing even further, and now he's suppressed. The showstopper goes to waste. Oh no. Poor Hyper. He could have been so on the nose for the attackers, but he couldn't do anything. And now the null command prevents anyone from M42 temporarily from using those abilities. Rix, Venom still get a double. And very, very quickly, those are two members gone. Look at M42 pushing through mid because they realize Revenant are pressured. Vimp was in the smoke. He dies. And it's a bloodbath that's happening towards mid. Logista, the only person alive. He'll be good for one, but in an instant, the defenders managed to turn the round in favor of themselves.
The fast and easy execute. They made the rush happen. They went in pretty deep and they had the level of control that they really wanted to get. Novak, the coach, now has opted to go in for a full-on stop. 2-round wins may not seem that much on the grand scheme of things, but this is where the momentum will start to completely take hold, and your team just snowballs out of it. They need to take a deep breath. They need to recollect themselves, come back through with a stronger strategy, because at this point, I don't personally like the way that all the members of Revenant are trying to play through this. They've gone back and defaulting to strategies that have worked in prior rounds, but you can't really expect that to work anymore now that your opponents know every single card that you have dealt from your current hand. You need to swap out those cards, go in for completely new iterations of your strategies, because from now on, they're on their own. They can't really rely on preset strategies, not anymore. The last 2 rounds need to be counted. If this ends on a 3-9, not only am I going to be able to torture CCV, but at that point, this double sentinel composition will be even more difficult to even play on this attack.
Exactly, because it's not just that it's a double sentinel. It's the fact that earlier when we saw the side of Reckoning play in another tournament here, the Esports Club, they played double sentinel, double duelist. They did not go for any initiator,
Spike
and they
down A.
kind of made it work because they had 2 duelists on attack. They could really use that extra manpower to push in, to have those dive agents. M42 don't necessarily have that because they don't have a jet in their composition. Rather, they've gone for that KO to help with the overall team utility and to help with slowing down the opponents, whether it be on attack or on defense. Which makes sense when you're on attack, you will be struggling. Regardless of that, M42 have managed the first kill of the round. They have wasted a lot of time of Revenant. 40 seconds in the action phase have gone, and RNT still haven't made tons of progress when it comes to map control. You know, you have Ember all by himself on mid. You have the remaining roster pushing from B main. But if Rix can manage a kill and then use the rendezvous, safely fall back without dying, I don't see this round going the way of the attackers. M42 will have an iron grip. But once more, they've repositioned away from B main towards mid. They will peeking the angle. Venom spots them, misses, but it's going to be Hyper. Getting 2 kills.
30 seconds
Revenant
left.
still have managed to make a comeback. Logista double and Night Ride of the Torday Force clears the bomb site as the spike is going to be planted.
Small misplays, the man's confidence is in shambles. Oh, wait.
Enemy remaining.
Oh.
Again,
One enemy remaining.
plays like this that make you question what exactly goes through the head of Blackhawk from time to time. But then again, he's the one that is radiant, not
Last
us.
round in the half.
Yeah. All right. So now you've got Revenant, who are looking quite well. I think they can manage the 9-3. But this round, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of factors. It's the final round of the first half. We are going to be seeing the Tour de Force on Rix as well. Very, very lethal, obviously. And considering the fact that he's all alone on B, you have to wonder if it's going to be in use or not. Revenant completely going for a natic. Scargod pushing down towards screens. Now he's going to be peeking into the bomb site as well, looking for another kill. Hyper is going to be gone. Blackhawk manages one, but even he dies. Side control has been taken by Revenant in a matter of 20 seconds of the action phase, and now it's been converted into a very quick post plant. Oh,
Just about getting these final couple of frags going, but then again, Knight Rider. He doesn't find the shot, Venom. It's all up to you, buddy. He needs to just find one kill to try and equalize this, to make this very much possible for his buddies, but... It's a 3-9. CCB, are you ready to cry?
Switching sides.
Because I can hear the tears
it's
falling.
going to be... No, it's all dependent on the team's performance.
No, I can hear the tears already. Both from the side of M42 and also from you.
Oh, I like the subtle M42 diss there. Nice. Anyways, from the side of M42, I mean, yeah, okay, you can see the communications are going there. Sai is going to be making sure everyone's on the same page, because the side swap is really the one saving grace for any team. When you consider if they're down on their luck, if they are very, very like in a major deficit when it comes to rounds, which M42 very well are. They are 6 rounds down. They've got to improve. So Scargod going to be pushing down towards market right now. Has been spotted by Sai. Easy kill for him. And M42 are pushing even more. They double down on this aggressive push. Doesn't make any sense. And Revenant, why would they ever have opted for this? Okay, I get Scargod doing it. He is the Neon. But then 2 more people followed through. Regardless, Logista finds one. A little bit of hope. But M42 looks so much in control of this round.
Last player standing.
Why do I open my mouth? Every single time I want to say something, I jinx it. I'm like, oh, it's Logi's here. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be able to pull off a miracle. Now he's at 25 HP and his teammate is dead. Miracles don't grow on trees, and Logi, I'm pretty sure that this tree is going to get plucked in 3, 2, 1. open book. Sai made the perfect read.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I mean, I don't know, man. Revenant tried something very, very weird right there. Did not work. Hopefully, they have learned their lesson. Do not rush mid again. Please don't. Now, it's going to be the anti-eco on the side of M42. Very simple round. Don't think a lot will be changing here. But overall, let's see what happens. But yeah, I gotta say that Revenant is still a bit of opportunity for them, because the thing is that now M42 have managed to win the first round, potentially even the second. From the looks of it, Blackhawk has been flash, got a fallback. Scar got only had one bullet in the chamber. Blackhawk manages to fall back and get the kill. Yes, he can. One bullet. Oh, he won't be surviving anymore. Great attempt from him. He was all alone. He was solo, but he managed to take down 2 members before he went down himself. Now, Revenant, 2 alive, 2 versus 3. I'd figure and I'd say they've dealt enough damage. If they can get another kill, all the more power to them. But M42 really seem in control of this round. Night Rider's location is known. He goes to the jiggle jump peak, and
One
he has been
enemy
tagged
remaining.
significantly. As a matter of fact, Ember does secure that 1v1 against him. There is a slight chance he can do this. Dings the member, but now Venom secures the kill. That's gonna be that. So M42, they managed to win the round. Important, very important win. It costed them 3 lives. So that's that. It was very expensive, but I think with them going for the investment right now, it is both high risk, high reward. Because if M42 manage to win this round and they convert 3 rifles against 5, it is going to mean a significant comeback is going to be there. But then again, them putting so much credits in their bonus, it can lead to negative consequences.
Yeah, especially in rounds like this where you know that, hey, you do have a little bit to work with. That was way too close for comfort. If anyone else died there, that would have been a detrimental fight already. Hyper dying early, it's not really the end of the world. You're trading a duelist for a sentinel, so it's a pretty good trade if you ask me at the end of the day. But again, that last one was very expensive for the attackers. They went in for full buys. They cannot take any more risks. And if Skargot hit that shot, I would have just gotten up from my chair
Blocking
and just
vision.
went towards the other side of the...
Hmm.
Sorry, CCV, you would have been on your own.
All right. Well, right now, good for the teams. None of them are on their own for the time being. Still decent numbers on board when it comes to the manpower. And Revenant Esports, they're just waiting. All the aggression that they had on their own attack has been converted into the most passive-sided nature on defense. Skargod holding the angle from within the smoke. He gets the
30
oddity of
seconds left.
multiple members pushing from the heaven, and he himself is prevented from pushing anymore. So Wimp is, for the moment, going to be taking the gunfight, and now he is all alone. It's going to be Ember who goes down. This breach has a lot of work to do. Isolates one gunfight,
down,
excellent
B.
shot, but
One
Blackhawk was
enemy
right there
remaining.
behind him and spot him. Logista,
seconds left.
10 seconds. He can be the differentiating factor, but now Sai knew about that, and that's going to be a triple kill for the KO. That's going to be the 6th round for M42.
Starting to believe yet, CCB? Say it.
Let's see.
Say it.
Why would I say it right now?
Okay,
It's
fine.
only 6 to 9.
Say
Lot
another
of
thing
time.
then. Don't you want to talk about the summer sale? Come on.
Oh, yes.
At least you can say
that
that. That is a
absolutely.
superstition that is true.
Oh, it is. It is one of the best things that has happened in a while. It's one of the best things you can have in your summer as well, because the amount of discounts that are there for the products to offer and the wide array of products to offer as well means that no matter what you buy, no matter how much quantity and no matter how much you spend, savings 100% are guaranteed. So make sure you go to Amazon, down in the description, click the link and buy yourself whatever gifts you want, whatever products you've always desired, because they will be not only of the best quality but of the best price as well. And meanwhile, these players, they have to play the game of the price is right around with their lives. That is the price right for pushing through mid. Can we risk our lives for doing so? M42, they do not want to take a risk. It is going to be an expensive ask from both of the teams. They have, given off and taken so much damage here and there because so much utility has been thrown, so many bullets have been fired. Look at Knight Rider, 34 HP for him, Scar got 56, and Wimp with the aftershock gets the kill. Wimp is still holding the angle. I don't think they're aware of Scargod. No, they will be checking the corner. Scargod cannot manage to land the shots, and M42 now in full force will be swinging by to take B. Or not. No, they're falling back. 30 seconds, they're going back. All right. Let's see what
Bad.
stands out.
I don't like this.
Spike down.
I
mid.
don't like this. But hey, at least if they get this plan down, it should be good for them. But Logi, oh god, this is bad. This is horrible. This is the whoa, Tarzan? Is that you? Why did you come out of the jungle, man?
One enemy remaining.
All right. Another round. Man, they managed to make it. They managed to make it work. But I had
Logi
doubted
could have
them.
easily stopped this.
Yeah.
If he didn't get Tarzan by side, that was over.
All right. The thing is, though, on the side of Revenant, I mean, the one thing is their expressions haven't changed a lot. It's unfortunate we can't see Wimp and Scar and what exactly they're talking about as well, or exactly how, you know, their facial expressions are. Regardless, Knight Rider, oh, he was there. Can he fall back? He does manage to fall back. Didn't have his rendezvous. M42, they have pressurized Revenant into falling back because of the null command. They have smoked that place off, and now they're looking to push from Rams. And the thing is, Rams is uncontested for the time being. They can face check everything. They can peek the angles. It's the only problem is there are 3 defenders on the A bomb side, and they're looking for kills as well. Nitro is the operator. He manages to get one. Embo still holding his angle. He gets a double, and then you have Stargod for even extra presence. And it was a flawless win for Revenant because M42, they just end up going into the crosshairs of the defenders, and they just didn't realize there were too many of them, like you mentioned.
Yeah, that was a perfect stack and a good read from Revenant. The call was done to perfection. They knew whatever angles that they needed to play at. They got that level of information and they just needed to hold. That was all that was required. And at the end of the day, man, it just started adding up more and more and more that at one point, it's looking quite tough when you think about it.
Yeah.
Revenant, this is a pretty timely pause, and I like this. After that last round, they could just be getting a little bit more overconfident in their abilities, and they could start going in for very hyper-aggressive pushes. The coach opting to go in for the pause right here and now will humble them to play these slow mental-based strategies and try to read into the strat calling of Sai. If Sai is out-called in any of these rounds, I do believe that M42 will start to crumble because they rely on their IGL heavily to make the correct calls.
Ooh, those improvisations that they are making, you know, towards the later or like the mid stages of the round are very, very crucial, and they have been helping M42 secure more and more of those rounds, especially since they have been on attack, especially since it has been the side swap. And, you know, we have seen more and more rounds stack up. So now we move on forward. It is going to be the 18th round. M42 quite close to equalizing the score entirely. But Revenant, after this tactical timeout, they still seem to be taking the gunfight. Stargod was entirely out in the open. Once more, a little bit of hesitation. And Revenant have to give up on map control. They've lost one member. They've got 2 people on the B bomb side. They use the Rolling Thunder to waste a little more
Black
time.
Hyper.
Wimp manages to get one excellent kill. Rick's also in the corner. His location is known. He's gonna die. Good utility usage. They have prevented M42 from getting the numbers up, but M42 themselves have taken map control and they are in the B bomb site.
Blackhawk is just on another level, dude. He just does not miss. He's still able to survive. Jiggle's gonna be good. Sai takes down his own twin brother. Or bot, I don't know. Whatever. Knight Rider with this operator. He's good. He's fly, but he knows for a fact he needs to opt for a save. Vandalok and Evil's also floating in the air, and there's nothing that can work out for them. Economy also kept in check. Beautifully done on every single route. 8 and 10, inevitable. But
Yeah.
at the same time, is it over for Revenant? Or will we see a possible comeback? Not just yet. We need to see one more round come out from the members of M42 before we can solidify the fact that the curse is real and that CCV is in denial.
I will always be in denial. What do you mean? Because there is no such thing. Anyways, all right. Let's come back to the game. You know, we'll talk about the curse plenty after we see the result of this match. For the time being, the result of this match is a topic which is of hot debate because we still don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Revenant, yes. M42 are very much on their tail, but the thing is, RNT are only 3 rounds away from securing the entire thing, 2 rounds away from securing overtime at the very, very least. So they have to be, you know, careful, and they don't need a lot of time. They don't need a lot of rounds. It can be over in an instant. Logista, who manages
down,
1
B.
kill, falls back very much safely, can go for the gravity well if he feels like more attackers are pushing. Exactly what he does, but he can't wide swing it because of the pain shells. Aftershock as well, preventing M42 from pushing through. Another utility dump, and in this case, it works brilliantly in favor of RNT because they've managed to reposition 3 of their members to the B bomb side, and they have stopped all hopes of M42 pushing to B.
That's a good amount of damage being done, but then again, Ember, his position needs to be cleared out here. Hyper, is he gonna expect it? He's gonna go run for the swing, and Ember, he's gonna sleep on the angle. No, dude, that is a pretty tough one, and here comes the pressure.
No.
And Skargod's gonna crumble under it one by one. Logi and Whip, they should know there's multiple players holding down over towards this sideline. He's gonna get caught out, and they're walking straight on his crossfires. He's not gonna be able to hold, and it's all up to Blackhawk. The guy's good. He has done so much for the team, but this is not an easy feat for him to take. Regardless of the
seconds left.
situation that he is put in, Wimp, the timing needs to be perfect. And Knight Rider comes in for the backup and finds this final kill. Blackhawk gets sent towards the wayside. And once again, what was the call here? You know for a fact that the players from B Heaven are the ones who go in for aggressive peeks on the mid. You still opted to go into B regardless of the situation after the utility dump you face on towards the B side?
Yeah.
What was the strategy here? Because the A side has to be empty if there's this many players over on B.
And makes you wonder. Exactly. I mean, maybe M42 were thinking they could catch the. Maybe they were thinking the players were all dead because Skargot did manage to find 2 kills, one on Ember and 1 subsequent kill onto Heaven as well. But regardless, whatever happened is done. M42, they made the wrong call. They lost the round. Revenant have managed to get their 11th round on board, and again the utility dump is there. Hyper was all alone, and M42 have chosen to push it because with Venom pushing through, that's the spike gone, and Skargot just sprays through the smoke. This feels a little more disastrous than usual because I get the Raze going and the Raze getting concussed. You know, Raze is the dive agent after all, but then the Sage also push. The Sage being the second person to push a smoke, that doesn't
Match
sit
point.
right.
Again, I really need to question the motives of the composition that they're running.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think their composition requires a Viper. This just doesn't make any sense with Yeoman. They need something else.
Checking the
There's
situation.
not enough utility. That's the thing. You're facing
Out there.
ginormous amounts of utility on the face of your opposition just because of the Astra alone.
Yeah.
And on your own side, how much utility do you have to even counteract those plays? Just KO flashes, a 0 point, and an all command with a couple of slorbs, and that's it. Oh,
Need that back.
that was a little bit too close for comfort. I'm pretty sure that Blackhawk just saw his entire life flash before his eyes.
Oh, wait!
Spike
3
down,
kills!
B.
All 3 of them headshots. Wim, Skargot,
Okay.
got it.
One enemy
Logista. Can he still manage? Now it's all down to Rix, but honestly, it is a 1 versus 4. Make that a 1 versus 3. 5 HP to work with. The spike is not in his hands. It's done and dusted. Revenant Esports looks like it is going to be their own map, unless there is a god indeed, unless there is someone who makes miracles happen. Let's see Rix's point of view as he pushes from B main into the hands and into the sights of 2 defenders. Look at this, look at them holding the very angle. That's going to be that 4K from Wimp, and that means we are going to decide a map. That means Revenant Esports have secured the second map of Split for their win.
cases, man, because communication needs to be on point every single time, and we saw none of that from M42. Map number
Yeah.
one, it felt as though they were under control. Nothing could touch them. Game number two, it felt as though they hit the Discord mute button and just were playing the game regardless, like I played in my ranked games. It wasn't right. The communication needs to be there. Who needs to take the first initial entry? Who needs to be the second? And there was not really any form of tilt control as well. Like, it felt like some of the players were just really frustrated, and there was nothing to really counteract that. As we head on over towards the match highlights, you're going to be able to witness that as well back at home, ladies and gentlemen, because it just didn't feel right at all. This didn't feel like the M42 that we saw on the map of Ascent.
That was entirely different. Ascent M42 was controlled. They were very, very logistical, and they knew exactly what they were doing, exactly every single action they were going for, whatever angles they were checking. Their utility usage was on point as well. This felt a lot more haywire. This felt like, okay, if we spot members, we're going to go for it. If something happens, we're going to go for it. I'm not saying Revenant played perfectly, far from it. Even their side, there were a couple of instances where they just absolutely made blunders here and there. I mean, the pistol round of the second half, I'm still very, very confused. Like, why would you ever go for a three-man push down mid when you've realized there are so many attackers there? Regardless of that, Revenant still managed to take the win. Split overall a very messy map. Let's just put it that way, because there was a lot that was going on. Teams constantly winning, losing. Almost a comeback was about to happen from a 9-3. We went all the way to a 10-8, but M42 really couldn't get it. Yeah, there was a lot that was going on this very map. But that's done. Now we have Bind. Potentially what can be another either very, very like thoughtful map or like a very practical map which is like efficient, or it can be as chaotic as Split was. Regardless of that, Bind is going to be seen. It is going to be a decider. It is going to be a final map.
I expected this to go down over to 3 maps as well. M42, they don't really have the best track record on this map. And personally,
Mhm.
whenever I see this map, I'm expecting a loss because this map is heavily cursed. I don't know why. Whichever
Uh-huh.
team that doesn't have a raise seems to be the one to win.
Mm-hmm.
The raise, man, is just I believe in it at this point. The amount of ranked games I have lost on Split, it has traumatized me to the point of return.
Yeah. Man, be it the agent composition, be it the play style, whatever it was, it means that Split now comes to an end. Both the teams are now equalized 1-1 in this best of three, and Bind is going to be the only thing that decides who is going to be the winner of the Amazon Summer Sale Valorant Invitational. Keep watching. We'll be right back after the short ad break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Amazon Summer Sale Valorant Invitational in association with LG Ultra Logitech and Reotech. We are now back after two very interesting, I would say, matchups for match number 1 and match number 2. We did not expect match number 1 to go in the favor of M42 in such a
Right.
convincing fashion, 13-6. Then after that matchup, as we head on down over towards the map section, time so we can get a recap of everything before we head on down over to Bind. The fact that map number 1 was a beautiful story and a beautiful picture painted by the members of M42. They knew exactly how they wanted to play the map. They showcased their mettle in not only their raw mechanical skill, but also their strategy. And then in map number 2, it just felt as though communication strategy was just thrown out of the window and they're playing based on pure aim.
Yeah. Yeah, I
In
gotta agree with
multiple
that.
rounds. Like you can't really defend M42 for any of the mistakes that they made.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like the team never makes any form of a small mistake that costs them the round. It's a
Yeah.
drastic flaw that just spirals down into the ditch.
Absolutely. And now with everything done, everyone's gonna go for a reset. All of the players are ready. It's going to be Bind. Bind is what will be deciding which team walks home with a prize of 1 lakh rupees. And now you, yes, you, the viewer, you may not win 1 lakh rupees by watching this stream, but you can save a lot more. If you go down in the description, head on over to amazon.in and get your favorite products that you've always wanted to order at a hugely discounted price because of the summer sale that has been going on already for the past couple of days. Today, the 7th of May, is the second last day. Tomorrow will be the last day of the summer sale. So you really don't want to wait. You want to make sure that you grab your favorite product, whatever it may be it a tech product, be it anything related to gaming, anything related to a PC hardware, or just, casual clothes in general, some furniture, whatever it is, Amazon has your needs fulfilled. So you want to get your product as soon as possible and in the best price as possible as well. So go down in the description, get yourself some awesome stuff, and then come back to the stream and watch the final map unfold, as very, very soon we will be jumping into the agent selection screen. Very, very soon we will be starting off with the comp process on the map of Bind, and this is where I really have my uncertainties as to exactly what these teams are going to go for, because we have seen M42 play very recently on Ascent, we have seen Revenant play very recently on Split, we haven't seen Bind from both of the rosters in a while, but now we surely will be. So very, very soon, let's jump into the agent selection screen and see the comp that the teams are going to be picking for. M42, oh, they don't want to waste any time, they have locked and loaded. Double initiated it's going to be as Blackhawk chooses the Sky, and the Raze is once more being played by Hyper.
I don't know how much I like this. The composition is strong, but double initiator on Bind has fallen off quite drastically.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the go-to composition anymore because you can get a lot more value by playing a double controller. And the Viper just adds that level of utility that you need to hold down the site. How much
Right.
information do you really require on the map of Bind for a proper site entry? Not much. Bare bones, basic amount of information should give you that play that you need. And then you just go in for those entries. And that's why the breach is so strong. I personally like the idea of a breach and a Sova, but a Sky and Sova seems to be a little bit more lackluster and not as potent.
Choose your agent.
True. So now we move on forward. Scargod once more on the Neon. Ooh, quite interesting. And as we see the faces of the M40 members as well, they see the loading screen, they realize that, okay, it's going to be Scargod on Neon. They're figuring out the composition of Revenant. And it makes sense. Yeah, once more, Revenant, they have been going for these kinds of comms, and with them not picking a Sova, with them not having necessarily a dive agent, you can kind of call Neon a dive agent. I would classify as like a semi dive, because the thing is with Raze and Jet, the way their dive works is that with Jet you have the dash, and even the up drop. You gain so much speed in a matter of seconds. Same thing with the raise and satchels, is that you cannot really be killed while you're flying. Not very easily, you can't be. For Neon, while she's in that expressive running mode, she can still be killed if your aim is on point that much, which is why I consider Neon like a semi-dive agent. The walls that Neon has her ability, those do help in preventing the other agents, in preventing the other opponents from seeing her. But regardless, all that's out of the way. Let's start the pistol round, as already we have the likes of M42 Esports who are on defense, and Scargod has been lit up severely. Rix gets the first kill of this entire map, and Scargod has got to fall back.
Start for the attack, and that may just be a pretty tough situation for them to get back from. Nogi holding from the back, but Rix, couple of mixed shots, and here is where they're gonna start to fall like flies if they're not careful. But look at all over the map. M42 is still gonna be able to hold, and honestly speaking, they just got pincered. There's no way they can run anywhere. All the members of Revenant, they were confused. They had nowhere to run.
Yeah.
And M42, they just got picked off one by one.
True, I mean, yeah, from the side of Revenant, the thing was they took so much damage early on. We saw Scargo was on 7 HP, Rix got a kill onto, I believe that was Knight Rider, who was the first casualty of the entire game. 3 members alive, you're pushing into the B bomb side where there were already 3 defenders holding a crossfire. Very rough scenario. Now we've got Revenant going for their eco, and it's going to be the most bare bones eco ever. You have almost nothing on board. A couple of upgrades here and there. I mean, we can see the Headhunter. I don't think will be alive for a lot longer. Rix is holding the off angle. Blackhawk is the one getting all the attention as he focuses his attention on towards Hooker. It's 1 kill. Rix will get another. And Ember and Wimp with classics. They managed to win duels against the Spectres. But how long can they really stay alive? That's the problem. Very low HP for one of them. And M42, they're just rolling off angles and simply getting kills.
At the same time, if Ember's just able to find 1 more kill, it's gonna be perfect for him. But no. Venom on the Brimstone, I think that is gonna be the thing that keeps them alive and keeps them in the running. 3 guns saved, so not the end of the world, but I wouldn't say this is a proper full-fledged bonus. Rix, though, yeah, he's gonna be in a pretty good spot. He has his Headhunter available, so he doesn't need to really worry about much. But now that Revenant have these rifles, they need to be the ones who win this round out. Bind is one of the few maps where if you're able to get your ultimates online a lot more faster in comparison to your opposition, the entire map could just snowball out of control in a couple of seconds.
Oh my god, the speed transfer!
This is why I love Leon on this map, and this is why this agent is just so beautiful.
That's 3.
Triple for Scargod. Oh my god, he is really feeling it right now. M42 Esports, no counter to what has just happened. Revenant in the most commanding way possible. They take back and they snatch the first round win. They're like, enough of M42 winning. It's time for us to start. Now, you've got the 2 final members alive. But really, what can they do? They don't have adequate amounts of guns. Headhunter, Ghost, that's that. If Rix can find 1 kill, that would be good. Blackhawk, honestly, it's 1 gunfight and wins a Ghost versus Vandal duel. Very interesting. He's looking for more, won't find it. 4K for Scargod. Excellent performance right there. He was on 40 HP before he got even a single kill, and he remained on 40 HP for the entirety of the round, meanwhile catching himself 4 praise. Excellent stuff. Beautiful execution.
Argo just used on down. First of all, a beautiful stun. Caught out 2 players. Instantaneous spray transfer on the 2. It was just an utter shutdown from this map. But then again, you can't always rely on these plays. This is one of the best maps for Neon, in my opinion. Primarily because of the amount of space that you can cover and the amount of pressure that you can create. But then again, utility like this, you have to be careful. You cannot really be overly aggressive. You need to wait until you gain some information about these close corners before you opt to use your utility to get the most optimum use out of it. And M42, they're picking off stragglers at this point. One by one, they're dropping their bodies. And Revenant, they spread themselves out way too much, and they're paying the price for it with their own lives. 3-1, and M42, they're back in the making.
It's like they never left. It's like the previous round, just something. But M42 are over it, and instantly they take their own win in a full buy versus full buy, and it's going to be like a near flawless round essentially. I mean, what, only a single person died? Excellent stuff. And we can see that as we are having a look at the scoreboard, it's not about the kill side that I'm more looking forward to. It's that I'm seeing the deaths. And M42 and their members, they've had a lot of fewer deaths compared to Revenant. So keeping that in mind, that yeah, you know, the more you're alive, the more credits you're saving, the more your survival rate is, the better it gets for you later on. Slugger now stuck between a rock and a hard place, 79 HP, his armor is almost gone. Meanwhile, there's
Swing
a
it,
stim
Hyper.
beacon.
I know you want to. Swing it, buddy.
Yeah. The stim beacon goes out. He's still gonna swing wide. He spots multiple members, pushes them back, still holding the angle. Only now do M42 try and fall back. They want to go for more for utility dump, but they can't. The ultimate prevents them. And M42, they flood the bomb site. Is it gonna work though? No, Sai! Even though he was flash, he gets the headshot and he can't get the second kill. But there are still reinforcements in the bomb site who will manage to find frags.
Remaining.
And Venom comes in at the very end to take down Loki. 4-1. They're still able to live through it all, and they're still able to go in for these type of plays. And I love this, but look at the strategy from the members of Revenant. The orbital strike placed towards the default boxes was a smart one. Triple got completely covered by the orbital strike. That allowed the entry from showers to happen a lot more smoother. Now, the primary issue was Wim opting to go in for a swing in towards Lambs before his flash took full effect. That was an easy headshot for him. You know how good his crosshair placement is. Going in for such a risk costs him dearly.
Yeah. Oh, Nitride. I mean, yeah, then again, it's an eco round. Doesn't really matter how much HP damage you take. It's going to be it. Blackhawk wide swings, 1 kill, spots 2 more members, and he's like, nah, I don't need to be greedy. You just fall back, get a little bit more information. All the meanwhile, he has
what the dog doing?
Ricks. Like, be careful of someone pushing hooker. Sai is also there as backup. So, yeah, this is a foolproof method for M42. They really have a... Oh, wait. I was gonna say there's no way they can die. Logista. Excellent headshot from his point. And you've got Logista getting another Ember towards hooker. Manages to get that kill. Before you know it, it's now a 2 versus 4. Sai doesn't manage to get that frag. And Ember gets another. Wait a minute. M42.
50s. How do these two players do it every single time? It's a Loki and Ember.
Yeah.
It's insane. These two players have pulled off more thrifties together than a lot of the other players combined. We look at players like RVK who single-handedly win out rounds just on the basis of one sheriff. That's why Enigma are considered to be one of the best teams when it comes down to the thrifties. Also,
yeah.
Now there's Revenant. 2 people that can completely change the flow of the round just by having one 800 credit weapon in their hands. And they're both on the same team. How many times have they done this?
Dude, it's too large of a number to keep track of, man. Every single time these thrifties, it's dude, something, because the sheer disbelief everyone has seeing the kills just fall out of hands more and more and more. You're like, how is this happening? Now, in a full buy versus full buy, Revenant have managed to take the first kill. That's good. The map control. Rix misses. Rendezvous just in the nick of time, but he has to give away position from hooker. And there's going to be someone else taking that spot. It's going to be Blackhawk who moves forward. But Revenant Esports, they're the least bothered with hooker. They're like A-bomb site. That's going to be our place of attack. And they'll be looking to attack. Sai attempts to find any members towards A shot. He gets one on the last attempt. That's the hunt basically gone. Spike is going to be planted, and it's all about the positioning Revenant Esports have, and can they figure out Blackhawk's position, because he is going to be the master instigator. If the need be for M42 to win this round, his job is the most important one. Oh no! No Blackhawk,
Player
no!
standing.
That's that. Venom was the only person who managed to get a kill. Blackhawk had the best opportunity, but just couldn't capitalize it, I guess. Unfortunate, unfortunate. That's another round gone in favor of Revenant.
Give the players a little bit of an opportunity to relax and just recollect themselves once again.
Yeah.
Because now at this point, they gotta take it slow a little bit more. They gotta take it easy, because currently things don't look on the upside for them just yet. Yeah, M42, they have lost out on the last round. Yes, they are eco is not doing that much, but what are they risking here? Just equalization. Equalization is not such a bad thing, and for Revenant, yeah, their bank is looking quite pretty. If they're able to take this round, they don't have to worry about buys. I do believe for the next 3 rounds, if they're able to survive with a couple of their guns opting to go in for saves. So they're pretty much set for the rest of this half.
Right.
But this needs to be a decisive win. If they don't win decisively, and if we see a possible Thrifty coming in from M42, things could be a lot more difficult.
It could be. And absolutely, the thing is, the things can get difficult or they can get easier. It's just that you gotta make sure, like, it doesn't happen to you to such a large extent that that you can't recover from it. That you're not in so much difficulty that you just can't escape out of it. Rix though, he's got the 44 spots, one player, and he gets a collateral.
Down B.
No way! They line up again! Again! Man, how many collaterals has that been in the past month alone here at the Esports Club? Regardless, M42, what felt like a round which was very, very weak because of the buys that they had, with one single bullet, they've managed to turn it around and to an extent keep it in their favors. Revenants really will be struggling to get grips on.
Slow walk over towards the side of the showers. Logie, he needs to be the miracle man here if he wants to try and find this one out. M42, they're still able to hold. Venom, if he has the timing, this could be good for him. Flash is gonna be strong, but still, it's not gonna be able to find anything. Hyper with a showstopper shuts down another Knight Rider. Needs to give this one up. And one by one, they're walking in towards their own crossfires. Position's good, and Rix, he's not gonna give that one up. And they got a Thrifty flawless.
Oh.
Rix is not gonna get a gun, but it's fine. He just picks himself up an operator, and he's just gonna chill with it. It's a Thrifty flawless on bind. CCV on bind.
Yep.
I never thought that I would say something like this in my entire career as a cast. This does not happen.
Man, the ultimates worked out. I mean, 3
You
kills
want
with
to
the
play?
Tory Force,
Let's
1 with the
play.
showstopper. Gotta say, if you have ults on your Thrifty, use them. Now, Stargod, he is wasting no time, pushes all the way up towards B long into Octagon, but his location is now known. And he, I believe, is also concussed. So, everyone in Revenant, they have to take a breather. They have to be like, okay, let's take it carefully with how we want to progress forward. Let's not rush into it, because we don't know how many members from M42 are on the B bomb side. That is the biggest problem. And if they were to make this execute onto B, they'd be in a lot of trouble, because there are 3 defenders waiting with their guns ready and with their crosshairs being pointed right at the entrance to see whether or not the attackers are going to be there. But the attackers, being smarter bunch, they reposition themselves all the way back towards A. Still a question of what they're going to do. The teleport comes through, and full on, it is going to be an AX group. That's why Sai will be rotating over. Rix before falling back. He
Full use
manages
of
1
utility.
kill, and
Rix,
gets
come
another.
on, one more
Venom
time.
shuts him down. Man, excellent stuff right here.
Ember's position has been given. One person is holding in towards Lambs. Do they expect him?
30
They
seconds
need to
left.
expect him, right?
Last
Venom
Player standing.
catches him off guard.
Spike down A.
The spike has been dropped, and ladies and gentlemen, Knight Rider, you ready? Your picture's been taken, and Hyper is gonna be the one to put it on a frame. 6 and 3, and M42. They're able to hold. And now, crunch time begins. Last buy, I do believe, that is affordable for the members of Revenant, but I do believe they can still go in for buys. Yeah, they have more than enough. One more buy after this if they do lose out here. And if they do, things are not looking that good for them.
Yeah, because a buy essentially means that if you lose, you're done for. Especially when you're in a financially desperate scenario, such as Revenant are already having lost a couple of these rounds, having given up that thrifty that M42 had, that was also gone. Oh god, how low was he? Just because of utility, just because he wanted to be on the forefront of that attack, man. Sometimes gotta fall back. But now that's going to be one kill already going in favor of M42. Ember manages to equalize it, but he is in a very risky position. Better to fall back. He was vulnerable. There will be no trade to his death. R&D have to move on forward, and the spike is going to go over from mid towards hookah. Vim has been spotted, and
Spike
Hyper
down, B.
gets rid of him. That's going to be the spike down. Logista manages to get the retreat, and that means that the attackers will get side control, but at what cost? They are a man down, and everyone in M42 knows exactly about their location, and the spike is still not down. The reinforcements have happened. Logista is
enemy
still
remaining.
waiting for the kill,
Why are they peeking?
but it works.
Why are they peeking? The spike has not even been planted, and they're still up
30
going for
seconds left.
peeks?
Spike planted.
Okay. Rounds can be given, rounds can be taken. And in this situation, rounds are being given away like free candy.
The flash is ready. Oh no.
Blinded.
Flash goes through. That's gonna be the peak. Oh, Rix had no idea what was happening. But that's going to be Revenant Esports winning this round, but albeit in a pretty unpredictable fashion. Like, really, no one would have expected that end to a 2 versus 3, where everyone in M42 just like, oh, I guess they're in the bomb side. You know what? Let's double check, make sure for ourselves. Oh, what's that? We're dead.
Summer sale. You guys can check it on your phone at any time, you know. You don't need to rush into a site to try and check it. It's okay. Moving on down over from that, ladies and gentlemen. Revenant, they do take the round, and once again, the clutches are good. They are able to punish the mistakes being made by the members of M42. But from here, it's a 6 and 4 scoreline, and they need to go in even deeper if they want to try and make it.
Scout destroyed.
Now though, Rex, all by himself, he is pushing through. Destroys that alarm bot, falls back, Hyper with a judge. It's one kill. Everyone in Revenant is like, no, we cannot push this. Fall back, retreat, and you know what? It is a very good reply. Ember though, even he was all by himself. Even he took a duel, but in this case he ended up winning, and that allows Revenant Esports to go for an A take, because they have realized that, okay, if we found one person on A, surely there may not be that many defenders, and to an extent they are correct. There are only 2 members of M42 on the A bomb side. Make that only a single person, Venom,
Spike
all by
down
himself,
A.
waiting for the
30 seconds
rotations, waiting for his teammates to push in, but it is going to be taking a lot longer. Rix is in showers. That can be really viable if no one spots him, but Knight Rider knew exactly about that chamber's position, and that is going to be Revenant Esports looking to plant the spike and pushing it into a post plant.
Right, the cheeky angle's gonna be present for him. He's just gonna wait. He's just gonna hold. Flashes are gonna give him a little bit of a wayside, but not for long, because members of Revenant, they were already pepped up and ready for
Last
all of
round
it.
before the switch.
Again, you have to remember here, Caesar. Find is a heavily defender-sided map. And the fact is, you already got to the 6 rounds. You just win one more, and you're golden as we move over to the defensive side.
Exactly. And for the side of Revenant Esports, like you said, be it 6-6 or even 7-5, they shouldn't have that many problems on their defense if they can manage to get going and if they are very much favoring their own defender-sided nature. So, with that being said, see a bit of a standoff. Venom goes. He went for that fake pickup of the ultimate orb, and he managed to fall back without even taking a single bit of HP damage. How he managed that? Not really sure. Logistum, guess just didn't have the best of angles, but the Brimstone is still alive. Now it's more about the nature of the Sova. Can he stay alive? He finds one. Venomous spots him, and that's 3 members of Revenant that are already off the board. M42 Esports having total control of this round, but until Logistum and Scar got off the board, nothing is totally there. Not even this round when 2 versus 3 and Revenant, they are falling in terms of their numbers.
This didn't look that good. Revenant, they try to brute force their way over towards the A side, and you know what happens because of that.
Switching sides.
You need info to play around with, and you had that level of info, but you were not able to capitalize on top of it using your own utility. It's just rough. Scargod, he was trying to do what he can to get that first initial entry, but the utility was used to facilitate someone that can't really follow up that level of utility, not at least right off the get-go. It's rough, but in a way, it's okay. It's not the end of the world now, is it? It's a 7-5 scoreline to end of the first half. I think they're more than happy with that.
Right. Well, right now, exactly. Both are reams, another reset for them. It is going to be the side swap. You've got to make sure that once you start pushing Stargod, oh, he pushed, he gets 1 kill. And Ember, alongside Logista, they're going to be peeking these angles, but it doesn't end their way. They manage 1 kill. And every single time, Revenant, happened on split. And it's happened on buying. Why? Necessarily, why would you always
That
go
was
for
a good
this?
push, dude. That was a really
I
good
mean-
push. They missed their shots.
Yeah, but again, that's the thing. It's in the pistol round. I get it. You are because there is a
enemy
soulful
remaining.
utility. You're going for it, but pistols are very unreliable. And if you're ending up in enemy territory where there are 4 of them with unreliable weapons, where your accuracy is not lethal, how good can the push get, or like how better can it get? Anyways, it's all down to Knight Rider now in a 1 versus 3. Low HP on 2 of the opponents, so he can make it work. Now, Venom had the angle on him, and Knight Rider didn't realize where that Brimstone was. It is going to be the 8th round for M42. They start off the second half in a good manner, but it's all dependent on this anti-eco. M42 have to make sure they don't give away this 50.
This point, we really do need to wait and see how Revenant are planning to switch up their strategies. Yeah, the aggressive peaks, I understand why they're opting to go in for it. They have a double initiator with double flashes. These double flashes can facilitate these aggressive plays so beautifully, but then again, you need to know when to back off as well. Especially now that Sova has been nerfed. You can get away with a lot more. The shock darts don't deal enough damage. And you have to remember that that owl drone can be easily destroyed in comparison to what it was before. Playing around with that utility, it doesn't really change how you play the agent, but it changes how fast you can go in for those executions. Revenant, though, they're playing purely based upon flashes. No information whatsoever. They have no idea what's waiting for them on the other side of this wall. Noise has been made. And now is where the real fun begins. M42, Leroy Jenkins.
Oh boy. Alright, that's going to be the first casualty. Rick's just that, but look at the sound!
As I said, Leroy
Look at the
Jenkins.
sound. 4 specters going through. 4 kills with 4 specters. It's going to be Stargod with the classic. Can't really do much. Again, pistols unreliable. As I was just stating my point, that was close quarter combat, right clicks. But that's that. Alright, we knew what would be the outcome of that round. After all, it was the anti-eco. You can't really expect much from from a team who've got, those classics in hand when they're up against Spectre's full armor. That's done. No more talking about the previous round. Everyone knew what the outcome would be. Let's focus on the round right now, because Revenant Esports, they have invested and they are going to be investing in 5 rifles full armor. This is going to be their full buy, and this is where the round should start going their way, because if they don't, they're going to be in such a major deficit to M42 Esports that winning this best of 3, winning the map of Bind, is going to be a really difficult task, even after all that they've put through ever since we started in map 1.
We do see a lot play from Revenant, and I like this. Playing defaults is very much important. I understand you have a double initiator based composition, but that composition can also be used to try and go for retakes and play for that. Slow down your opposition, use your utility slowly, because you have a lot more than the attackers. You would be surprised. Yeah, you would be like, hey, the Sova and the Sky, they have rechargeable utility, but it's not as strong as you would have expected. But Ember, buddy, no one to trade you?
Look at that.
All
What
right.
is-
30 seconds left.
Okay, this is God. Goodbye, Sai. You'll be missed.
Yeah. But now Rix pushes in, and no one expects him. Even though M42, they managed to get into the site. Rix with the Spectre. That's a double.
player
This is not
standing.
over yet.
Spike
It's all down to the
B.
chamber. His position is known. He's going to pushing the smoke. Night Rider gets it in. Okay, now Revenant Esports managed to secure the round. But I have to say, aggressive. It costed them. 3 members dying, 3 rifles gone off the board. Do you think it's a severe enough setback that they'll be thinking over the economy, or will they just be going like, okay, yeah, we have 3 rifles lost, but we are going to go for a rebuy?
The rebuy something interesting. But
Okay.
then again, what are we missing here in particular? The defenders, they already have the orbital strike present. So any form of an aggressive play that could be taken, or even the Sky Wolf coming out, could just mean the death of a single person at any
Yeah.
second. Sai gets slight little bits of information that this one player is playing on towards the back end, but the orbital strike was used way too early. What was the game plan here, Ember?
Still, M42, they managed to get a couple of kills. Logister also has been isolated, but they're going for the TP, and Night Rider is covering to the Sky. Well, and Logister also,
One
fair
enemy
play to him.
remaining.
He gets that kill. Revenant knew
down
exactly
A.
what M42 would do, and from the side of M42, there wasn't a lot of dynamic nature in this take. All of them pushed B long. They realized this wasn't going to work out. They still took 2-3 gunfights. They lost those. And then even after they teleported, Starboard knew exactly where they were. And now the spike is dropped as well. It's Rix all by himself.
30 seconds left.
It's about the final couple of rags. Rix. He has done God's work in multiple different occasions, but I don't think today's gonna be that day. Scargod comes in with the stun and Night Rider with the peak. Perfect synchronization of abilities and teamwork coming into tandem. With that, 9-7. They're pretty much at the cusp of victory to try and close it all down and make sure that gap doesn't get any bigger. Wimp, he did take the pause for their side. They need to recollect themselves, and also I do believe a couple of technical difficulties. So they're going to try and fix that in the meantime as well. First of all, they need a different little bit of a strategy. Do they want to go in for this aggressive plays? A lot of these rounds are getting a lot closer than they need to be, just because Revenant, they're getting too impatient into the positions that they already are. You have the utility to slow down your opposition, or even just completely play aside for retake. Why not use that to your advantage? Just wait it through. And I hope that Revenant, they're talking through that very specific point.
Mm-hmm. Now, on the side of Revenant, in the meanwhile, it's still going to be. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, we can't see Novax come. Otherwise, maybe he'd be the one seeing the most stuff during these tactical timeouts. But overall, no matter what it is, hopefully first the technical issue gets resolved, and then we see just both the teams, making sure that they are at the best of their capabilities. Because the thing is, there is not a lot of time remaining overall in this best of three, because we've had two maps done and dusted. Each team, they took a piece. Now it is going to be the final map, and already we are through on with the second half. There are like what, 4 rounds remaining for M42 to win, 6 rounds remaining for Revenant to
want to
win.
play?
That
Let's
isn't
play.
a lot of time. So you better get with your best showing, with your best performance as soon as possible. Because if you know it or not, time is not going to be your friend, my friend.
Seems as though Logi is trying to be everybody's enemy. He's been doming people without any form of business, and he doesn't care of what he does. But Blackhawk, okay, a slap to the forehead, and Skargog gets sent back to the Shadow Realm. He's not gonna live that one for long. And Wimp, he has a lot of utility to work with, but then again, a couple of good shots is all that they need. Knight Rider shuts down Blackhawk before he can do even more damage, and now at this point, what are you trying to do for survival here? Just get the plan and just hold. Pray for the best, because for now, M42, it looks like they have no way of trying to survive this. Rix, he has the angle, but these flashes will shut him down in a couple of seconds.
And it's the positioning of Revenant members as well. One in showers, two coming from short, one pushing from defender
Feel
spawn
bad
as
for
well.
Rix. I was just gonna call that, man, because
Exactly.
I'm like, wait.
Last player standing.
Ah, so many angles, so many places. The defenders just flooded every single corridor that was there, and there wasn't much anybody could do about it. Yeah, it was just a great case of positioning from the side of Revenant with how they tackled that retake. They spread all of their members, and they were like, we are going to prioritize on utility as well. That's why we saw so many of those mollies from Brimstone, the flash hit, and then you had the peaks as well, that eventually, well, all of them end up going in their favor. An almost flawless round with only a single person dying means more credits. And exactly because of those more credits, they're able to save up for a rainy day if they lose a round, because they have been on a 3-round winning streak, and they're just a single round away from equalizing the score.
Prepare for hellfire.
You do have to notice a couple of the more key notes here as well. The fact that the Knight Rider has his operator in his hand, and that operator can completely change the flow of this battle. Skargod, dangerous game that he is playing. He needs to be the one to find the skill. Misses out on the shot, and Hyper's going to be the thing that shuts him down. The trades are going to be good, and Knight Rider, this operator needs to find value, but he does not see a single thing. He needs to wait until his teammates are in proper positions to try and go in for this fight. Once again, we do see a fight between Logi and Baby Sai. Sai makes his way around. Has a little bit of time to work with. Swing needs to be perfect, and Logi, he comes in so clutch every single time. Rix does the damage control, and now it's all up to Logi. He has done miracles every single time we ask for it. But for today, I don't think that's gonna happen, especially with Hyper and that grenade. It's done. It's dusted. Maybe save this operator. I don't think he's even gonna be able to do that. Stay in the corner and just die a happy death.
Rick's gonna go for it. Oh no, he lets you just live. Okay. Alright. M42. Every single time Revenant are like, oh, we're about to catch up. We're about to catch up. Better be prepared. We will equalize the score. M42 are like, no, you a bit more. A bit more is absolutely needed. And these players, they are giving it their everything and beyond. That's the thing. Now, Revenant and M42, all 10 of the players, they've been at it for 2.5, 2.6 maps, whatever you may want to call it. And we are still not done with it. So, gotta ask the question, which team will end up taking the win of this Amazon Summer Valorant Invitational? Because now, again, Hyper, he's got the showstopper, but Knight Rider shuts him down with the Torre Force. And there are 3 members from Revenant. M42, they got to realize that we have to fall back. They cannot push forward. 3 defenders all holding angles is a very difficult position. and a very difficult situation to push through as well. The flash is out there, and M42, no, you cannot commit to it. You're wasting time, you're wasting resources. It's best to start somewhere fresh. Another flash. Wait, what? Rix and Venom, they
What
were
you call the stars
flashed.
aligning? We've just ult this. We've just ulted, man. Throw the rolling thunder.
What?
He heard
Both members
footsteps
were
of
flashed.
Last player
footsteps.
standing.
They knew how many people were at long. Where was the rolling
30
thunder?
seconds left.
Wimp.
Planted.
Oh. Oh no. Yeah.
You want to add anything?
I mean, no, not really, because look, everything that was to be said has been said. Everything that was to be done has been done from the side of Revenant. I feel that that was a very, very lethal round because now aggressive. This is the final buy that they have. If M42 managed to win this, it may just be wraps. I don't see Revenant with a weak buy, with a semi buy, getting a 4-round tally consecutively. M42 are so close to clutching this out for their side. They are so close to that 1 lakh rupee prize that the winner of this invitation will be getting. So now round number 20 is here. And once more, Ember all by himself, he is in enemy territory. And this is the problem. He was all alone.
Good shot.
Beautiful shot. Ember had many angles to check in again. This is the face checking thing from the side of Revenant Esports, that because they don't have that Sova, they have to go for methods like this. Even Logista, he is fairly pushed up. He's the only member in the B bomb side. Why is he peeking? Alright, there are going to be members pushing in from Hookah, but M42 will take control of B now.
Understand what they're trying to employ. They're going into sidelines all by themselves. They're like, oh, maybe the members of M42, they're already pushing on down towards inside of the side. It's just not working. Venom's hitting all of his shots as well. This is so difficult to try and get anywhere close towards the sidelines. Looking at the scorecards, Venom's on the top. He's 17 and 10. He was having the roughest of times when it came down to the map of Split, but now here on Bind, this is his map, and no one can take it away from him.
Exactly, and I don't think anyone can take it away from M42 Esports. I mean, yeah, great round from their side because they only lost one person, but I'm sorry. From Revenant, there were mistakes that were made. Ember pushing up, I would give that to like trying to get information. Maybe he thought there was no one there. Okay, one mistake, fine. But then Logista being all alone in a bomb site and still playing towards Octagon, flashing and peeking when he knows at least there are two members. That's a problem because you don't have any reinforcements. The other members of Revenant just made it through the teleport near Hookah. That right there was a big blunder. I'm sorry, but yeah, you should have played passively. Try to buy time. I get it, as a Sky you can't buy as much time. You can go for the couple of flashes. You can go for the dog as well. Sorry, I forgot the name. But yeah, there's not that much time you can buy, so play passively, you know, try peeking, jiggle peeking from many angles. Regardless, now M42 Esports in a lot more optimistic news. They are on match point, they are on series point, they are on invitational point, potentially a minute away from being crowned as the victors. Knight Rider rendezvous just in the nick of time. Scargot also maintaining position, only got a Spectre. Wimp uses the Rolling Thunder after going for that, but Blackhawk still wins the goal, and he gets another. How did Blackhawk get that? That is just lethal. Logista finally gets the trade, but there's no one in the B bomb side. Ember is pushing through.
Night. Ember, it's all up to you, buddy. He's gonna be good for one. Ember, he's gonna be the game changer. He should sound 2 more players, but
30
still,
seconds left.
Logista. He's on very low levels of HP. This is not looking that good for them. They do have a free plan, regardless of the situation. Rix is playing hyper aggressive over towards this corner. And now it's all up to them. Nail biter of a moment. Rix playing a very one and done angle, but then again, could just be the one to spot out his head. Twist the angle and Logista just does not miss. Every single time we see this man? He's able to hold 21 HP and a dream. Venom, you just gotta wait, buddy. No peeks, no nothing. But then again, he's just gonna swing Terrarian out. And M42, they take it all away. They're the ones to win this prize. And that's an upset and a half. Something that we did not expect. M42.
My God. They
What
secured
just
it.
happened?
That's it. It's a win for their side. Revenant Esports, I mean, yeah, their faces as well, what we can't see, but it must be despair that must be being felt in the entirety of the communication, the entire call. That's it. Congratulations to M42 Esports. They are the winners of the Amazon Summer Sale Valorant Invitational. They'll be going home with a prize of 1 lakh rupees. Man, they got it. In the end, no matter how rough Split was because of that win on Ascent and then on buying this entirely new domain from their side, it works. Excellent, excellent stuff. They were on the tail of Revenant at every step of the way. They were in hot pursuit and it was working. Even on Split, they managed to get so many of the rounds, but it's more importantly on Bind. Taking a look at the highlights, the fact that they managed to build the lead and keep on moving forward with it time after time after time.
I was amazed at the foothold that M42 had on this. I honestly expected these plays from Revenant with the Neon to just completely catch them off guard, but M42, through their raw mechanical skill, were just a cut above the rest. Revenant, yeah, they were hitting their shots, they were doing a lot, they had strategy under their belt, but strategy gets you really far in the game, yes, but sometimes when your opposition is just cracked out of their minds, you just can't do anything about it. I personally wouldn't say there were any really wrong strategies that Revenant were trying to employ until their defensive side started to roll on down through, because on the defense, we already know the biggest flaw. They started pushing corners or pushing from certain angles without any form of backup, any form of information, and they were using themselves to gain information without any trade potential whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot justify something like this. And Revenant, they dropped the ball massively. And M42, they just casually kicked the ball straight into the goalpost. They didn't even have to dribble. They didn't have to dodge. They didn't have to do anything. It was a free post, and M42, they landed the goal for 1 lakh rupees.
Yeah. Also, I like how you use dribble and goal to different. Oh, well, I mean, there's technically dribbling in football. But, anyways, all right. There were a lot of headshots in this game of Valorant. That was for certain. But overall, I gotta say that, man, M42, really excellent performance. I mean, yeah, the team had been a little bit downtrodden on their luck when it comes to their recent results otherwise, but their showcasing here shows that they still have it in them. And for Revenant Esports as well, it also shows that a team can be performing really, really well, and people would expect them to perform even better, but then they can just miss. I was just mentioning, if you're talking in like sports terms, there is the hot hand fallacy in basketball, where if a player constantly is making those swooshes, constantly making those 3 pointers, people expect he will keep on getting those, but then they miss. Kind of like what happened to Revenant. They have been on the up and up. No one can deny that. And truly, the team does have potential. But today was just the day of M42 Esports. Plain and simple. They are going to be the winners. But man, what an excellent show match it was. I mean, I think inviting both of these teams was really the best factor was there, because this was entertainment at its maximum. We saw 3 maps, and the amount of stuff that we saw, just every single place we looked, it was even more enticing. It was a lot entertaining, and it was just very, very well. And that's the thing. another place where anywhere you look, you'll be seeing a lot of savings and you'll be seeing very enticing prices as well. Is if you go down in the description and you move on and you go to Amazon.in and check out the summer sale that's taking place right now. Tomorrow will be the final day of the summer sale, so you really don't want to miss it because we have so many products. I mean, it's Amazon after all. You have anything under the spectrum from A all the way to Z. All products are there, and the best prices and the best quality. Whatever you want, you can for sure get it. But in the meanwhile, M42, they get the price of 1 lakh.
Same time, M42 may be happy, but I'm kind of sad. I'm sadly not in India, so I can't even utilize the summer sale that's going on. Payday is always gonna be there, but
Yeah.
what can you do? There's no sales here in my country, so you guys back at home should utilize the opportunity that you have. Pretty sure that you
Mhm.
have a certain product, maybe a mouse, maybe a something that you really wanted to go for. So let's head on down over towards the map video screen one more time before we close everything out. It was a strong journey from both of these teams, but at the very end of the day, M42 they were able to completely change their face. I do believe that M42 became a little bit too overconfident on the map split.
Yeah.
It just completely looked as though the team were going Kawapanga laws of nature on the second map. And then on the third one, they came back. The team that we saw on the map of Ascent were able to showcase themselves once again. And Venom man just stepped up to the plate and he didn't miss a shot. Bugatti peak, starting from the Ferraris, everything was done down to perfection. And this is one of the main reasons why M42 are just such a strong and potent team. I like how they played. I understood that Revenant, they were feeling a little bit uncomfortable with the way that they were playing a lot of these different sidelines. And again, it felt as though the problems that M42 faced in map number 2 really did transfer over to Revenant for some reason in map number 3. But hey, I
Yeah.
digress. Revenant, they're still an up and coming team. They can work things out together. And hey, they can come back even stronger than ever in the next following.
Yeah, I gotta say 100% that I really will be excited to seeing more of these teams, whatever happens, whatever, if there are any roster changes or whatever takes place in the future. But that's the thing is that here at the Esports Club, make sure you are subscribed because very, very soon at 8 p.m., we have another matchup for Valorant in another one of our tournaments. So you really don't want to miss that. We are nearing the end of that series as well. Again, a lot of big name teams are participating, a lot going on, and a major, major prize pool up for offer as well. One last time before we end this Valorant Invitational, make sure to go into Amazon, get your favorite gear, whether it be monitors from Logitech, whether it be mice and webcams, whether it be monitors from LG Ultra Gear, mice and webcam from Logitech, or if you want to make sure you keep your products in the pristine condition they are, go over to Riotech. But more so, Amazon offers every single product that's out there. Till then, this is from our side. Thank you everyone for tuning in the Amazon Summer Sale Valorant Invitation. Thank you for watching these two teams perform in this best of 3 against each other, going 3 maps. We'll see you very, very shortly. Take care and bye-bye.
I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast. And every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars. and we don't need to do